Welcome to another episode of Westerbros. We're just getting our relationship issues out before so we can have a nice, I don't know, a nice connected, emotional, intellectual response to Black Mirror. We were going to do Star Wars. We were going to do Bright. But then I got an overwhelming amount of requests to talk about Black Mirror. I guess everybody really fuck with this season 4.
But we still are going to do those.
Yeah, facts. Next week. We got to do them. Listen, we're on it. This is go time for us. And you know what's coming back. We got, what is it? I think Atlanta's coming back, and then
March 1st.
Westworld's
coming back.
Westworld's coming back.
March.
Boom.
April.
So we got a lot of things cooking.
Yeah.
And there's a couple series on Netflix people have been telling us to check out. This one
I heard
called
Dark.
Dark.
Yeah.
That's another one.
I've heard
Marco's already shaking.
Yo, a
his
lot
head.
of reading involved though. It's all subtitles.
What you mean?
It's all.
I
in
can read
German.
subtitles.
It's German, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a horror film.
But that's the kind of thing that you have to be attentive to. Like I'll be doing dishes and I'm like, oh, I just missed.
But I
the
like
whole...
that better because one of the not to segue too much, but I realized I really love that Chappelle special because I didn't look at my phone.
Nah.
I was locked.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I was locked.
So good.
And I'm gonna keep it real. On a couple of these episodes of Westerbros, I'm back and forth the whole fucking time. I'm phone, TV.
Of Black Mirror.
A couple of episodes of Black Mirror. I'm flipped.
Hopefully people are attentive to Westerbros.
So
Yeah.
if it's good, like Narcos, especially the most recent season of Narcos,
So good.
I thought was excellent.
I haven't seen it.
And
It was so good.
We've gotten
I wouldn't look at my phone
requests.
because you're reading. Like if it's good and you're reading the subtitles, it doesn't matter.
I'll fuck
If
with
it's not good, then
Narcos
it's
just because I know someone really died.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. But there was parts of Narcos where my interest waned, but season 3 was locked in.
it was
I
hot.
could not turn my
I
eyes away
didn't,
from it.
that shit was on the low. The best season.
All right, so maybe we get into it. I like the Netflix model because it's so accessible. You know what I mean? It is. Some people might not want to go see a movie. Movies are expensive. It's cold outside, etc.
You got life.
Exactly. But Netflix, you always got time for fucking Netflix.
Agree, but I'm a little afraid that like this whole system is going to become like the new norm. And like I like the weekly buildup. Like I still like the Game of Thrones Sunday night. Look forward to it.
Couldn't agree more.
You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't agree more. I'm only I would be totally fine if we didn't have to go to the theater anymore, but we could watch it. I know you love going to theater, but we could watch it at home. And I think theaters are going to change in the way that they're already changing now. Like
Movie
they're
Pass?
serving food. No, not Movie Pass.
iPick.
But like, what is it? iPick it's
I
called?
went to Star Wars iPick.
Tell me. But explain what iPick is to people
So
who don't know.
you buy your ticket in advance, and you have an assigned seat when you get there.
Love it. Like the
right?
airplane. Let's go.
So when you get there, you're in this pod of 2 chairs.
Hot.
Right? So like I went with me, my boy, his brother-in-law, and his sister. And like so we were in 2 pods and they were in their pods, and you're in 2 giant recliners. You get a table between you, you get a blanket, you get a pillow,
Blanket?
you get a button to call.
Yo, you get a blanket?
You get a blanket. You get a button to call for service. You get free fucking popcorn, and then like they serve you alcohol, they serve you food.
So it's first class movies.
It is first class.
Let's go.
How much is
I
the
got a
ticket?
question.
Yeah.
So when
That was like $40. I'll spend that.
But you're gonna spend 40 anyway.
You spend 40 anyway.
On the
Yeah.
popcorn, all that
Sodas
shit.
and popcorn.
And I'm one of those dudes. I'd rather pay more and like you tell me it's free.
Yo, it might have
You know
been
what I
less
mean?
than 40.
Like-
Yo, it might have been less than 40.
So where we saw it at Battery Park,
Yeah.
The Fulton Street I picked those that we're gonna go from now on.
right? So are the chairs more comfortable than that? Because that's
Son,
what
it's
I
a
saw
full
Star
fucking
Wars.
recliner.
I saw Star Wars at Battery Park.
I
I was vertical.
Yeah.
You were all at Battery Park.
Nah, we were not fully vertical.
Absolutely.
Yo, you got to be
You got
careful
like a
though with the
little lean.
recliner.
You got
Absolutely,
45
little
degrees,
lean,
bro.
man.
You weren't
on
going
the-
buck 80.
You were on the Acela business class.
Nah,
This
that was extra legroom
was-
tops, B. It was nothing.
Yo,
It was nothing.
Here's the thing. I've been to those, where
You
you
need
can
a
order
pillow and
food.
no blanket.
I've been to where you can order the food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yo, the best
Hold
part
on,
was-
why?
Like
I
a
hate
draft
that.
house. Alamo
Because
draft
you're
house.
watching I remember I saw Sicario in one of those
Yo.
things, and Sicario's a fucking intense movie.
And
And
cats are just coming.
right?
Can I get you something?
Someone's coming
Where's
down.
that lamp? Here.
Someone's coming down like, who got the chicken fingers? And I'm just like, yo, man,
Yeah, don't ruin
Benicio's
it.
crawling through a tunnel, right? And you're gonna scream out, who got the
not true.
fucking
That's
chicken
not true.
fingers?
That's not true.
That's what that
That's
was
not
my,
true. You have a call button. So he comes to you, he knows you ordered the food. Right? So it's not like he's like in the theater like, oh, who's got the chicken fingers? Like, no, he knows your pod.
he went to Alamo
to
Draft
the
House.
he went
Yeah,
to the
he's
first version of it.
Yeah, this is
it's
right.
improved.
The one
Things
thing
have
that
gotten better.
happened,
You
though-
got 3G. We're on the X
gotcha.
now.
The one
you
thing
know?
that happened in Star Wars that was funny was that my boy goes all the time, so he qualified for like a rebate. So like during like a pivotal scene in Star Wars, it's in like the throne room, which like
Don't
You
give
guys
it
will
away.
see. Yeah, right. The dude's like explaining to him like the parameters of the rebate, and this guy is just like, bro, like seriously.
Yeah,
like,
that's
he's
annoying.
Like, no, you need the. So you spend $10 more and you get $35 back, and he was just glued to the screen trying to like watch the pivotal scene. But that was the only hiccup. Didn't bother me none.
I
Point
don't like
is,
service during the theater, during the movie.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
You don't have to have it.
They're walking.
You call for
but
it.
still, they're walking in front of you.
They're not walking in front of you. The aisles are,
Bro,
there's no way they walk in front of you.
They're more
I
advanced.
haven't been to iPic.
So
I'll
you
check
gotta
out
go.
iPic.
Yeah.
Wild.
They figured some shit out. You know, people can problem solve.
Especially like a
Point-
movie like Star Wars where you know the theater was going to be packed at that time.
Yeah,
So
you know you
I,
got a seat.
I went the first night.
Yeah.
Look, the
And I
first
was-
version of anything is going to have its hiccups, and then they figure it out. Point is, I think movie theaters are end up going this direction the same way like retail stores go this direction. Like if you ever go to like a nice retail store now, they give you
Serve you a little champagne.
champagne.
Little
Can I get
champagne.
you a water?
What retail store is this?
Go to Todd Snyder. They got a barber shop. Get a
Todd
haircut and
Snyder?
shop for some jeans and cardigans.
Or you go to
get
Whole
a
Foods now, they
coffee.
got shit like this.
Oh yeah,
Does Big and Tall got this? Because that's the only place I can shop now.
absolutely. Big and Tall is gonna have that shit.
The Kendrick merchandise shop.
Yeah. The Kendrick pop-ups got this.
All I'm saying is, they got to make an experience because they know you could just buy shit online.
Right.
You can
Everybody's
go to
competing.
Amazon.
I mean, that's
they
why
can
this
do
movie pass thing is happening. You know about that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The movie passes. You spend what $10 a month. You can
$10 a month, you can go to a movie a day.
Movie pass.
Or no, a movie a week.
Is every theater signed up?
Movie
I'll
a day,
do
yeah.
that. I'll do that. Is every theater signed up?
Well, the theaters hate it because I guess it goes against.
Oh yeah.
It goes against their like normal pricing. But
Theaters are going out of business,
You're
dog.
paying less than one ticket
yeah,
to have unlimited movies. Like
yeah.
that's
you still have to pay
that's
concessions,
insane.
but you're able to
Yeah,
go to
but, like,
any movie.
the
Shit,
argument.
it cost me $40 to go see Star Wars.
The argument
me
for
and,
them is they're making
wife.
money off the concessions anyway, and they feel like you would see less than one movie a month.
Yeah, because people are lazy.
The studios love it, but the theaters hate it.
Well, the studios get the whole $10.
Yeah,
The theater's just like, listen, we're basically let you in for free. Just make sure you buy some popcorn.
yeah.
Because that's how they make their money anyway. That's a popcorn.
How's the split
$15.
now with movie? If I go to the
Half.
theater right now, it's half. The
Right?
theater
I
gets
think it's
half.
still half. Yeah, that's like the usual model. Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Theaters is
They're charging you $8 for a Coca-Cola. That's 20 cents. They're
Yeah.
getting $7.80 on a Coca-Cola.
but they're just
Popcorn.
I mean, I imagine most of the revenue still comes from ticket sales.
No, the revenue
No, it
comes
comes
from
from
the
concessions
popcorn,
for the
baby.
theater. Yeah, for the
Sorry.
theater.
Think about the
The
markup.
markup is crazy.
Yeah.
You know how much
It's
cheaper
crack
it is to make
prices.
popcorn?
Yo, man, if I'm them, I got like I'm upping the security on like allowing shit. Every time I take a bottle of water every time I go to see a movie.
You fucking
steal one?
animal.
Savage.
This
Yo,
guy takes
No.
a bottle of water. You want us to believe that, Hani? You don't take no snacks into the
I
motherfucking
know.
movie. All they take is a Dasani. 1 liter of
I take a
Dasani.
whole
No,
small one, not the big
I'm
one.
doing no sugar now at the movie theater.
Take a
Fuck
Bone
outta
Spring
here.
bottle in. If this is the new model, I have someone there that's just like checking everything.
I mean, they look through the bag.
Telling the women dump their bag out, but they don't. Like they don't check the bag.
I
No,
think
they
you're
don't check
allowed to
They
break.
don't check anything.
Yo, yeah.
it's
I snuck a handle.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yo,
I can
people
fit a-
just stopped smoking weed in the theater. You know what I mean? Like literally in the last
now
year.
with these oil pens.
We back.
No, we back. Now you got a pod. In your own pod, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah. Little gummy bear?
All right, well, let's talk about this Black Mirror shit, man. Who was on it for? It was you guys. You two guys
Yeah.
love Black Mirror. You've seen all the seasons.
Yo,
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
loves this shit.
I got on it early. I don't want to be the one who's like, I found out about Black Mirror first.
go.
But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're
Be that.
you're
2014.
Okay.
It first came on Netflix. Just when Netflix was popping, it had like House of Cards was like early seasons. It
Okay.
didn't have a lot of original programming. I think Black Mirror was the first show that got acquired by Netflix. So it aired in
It was an English show.
It aired on BBC in England originally back in like 2011. Just 3 episodes. So in England they do like seasons are usually
Short.
way short. Yeah, like 3-6 episodes.
Which is why the first thing was like the first drop was
Season 1.
Was 3 seasons technically.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And I watched the first episode. I watched was the first episode. It completely threw me off with the pig fucking thing.
We'll get to that.
And then I watched the second one, and the second one hooked me, and I was like, "Yo, this is a crazy show. I gotta stick with this." And then I heard Netflix picked it up.
The first episode is about pig fucking.
We'll
Yeah.
get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, the first episode is the worst episode of the entire
about
series.
pigs.
We'll get to that. We'll get
It's
to
about
that.
politics, but it's also
All right, we're just gonna talk about it right now. You guys are fucking harp on it. So
I'm sorry. He gonna talk about pig fucking.
Yeah, no. I think it's important.
Over
I
this.
wanted him to get to make his larger point because Jack's part of the problem. Jack and Hani are both part of the problem.
What's the problem?
Right?
All I want to just know is we spent 15 minutes talking about the snacks that Hani brings into the movie theater. He says pig fucking, and we just have to jump past it. There's no way in hell that's going to happen.
What's the problem?
I wanted him to make his like. The problem is this: that people like Jack who are on it early, and Hani early-ish, we're like. You got to. No, like, I don't really watch a lot of shows, right? And I don't keep up on this shit, so I always go to people for recommendations. But I had some free time in my life, and I was like, yo, I need a show right now.
Because you couldn't sleep for the last 4 days.
This is why you couldn't sleep, because you started watching Black Mirror.
I rewatched The Wire, though. The whole, like 4 seasons.
You get sucked in. Every now and then.
It was so good.
Once in a blue moon. Every super moon, you get sucked into The Wire.
Poor guy.
Yo,
Son, text me when you have insomnia. I'm up until 4 in the morning every night, baby. We could talk.
You're right.
I'm there for you. I couldn't shit. You couldn't sleep. We could.
How long?
I know, I was 96 hours. Yo, but I was on like NyQuil and I still couldn't sleep. So
and then you start tripping. And that's crazy.
No, that's
then you start like falling asleep a little bit, and you wake up and you think there's something like attacking.
Fucking terrified.
Yeah.
So what finally laid you to bed? Did you hit the
what?
What finally laid you to bed?
Yeah, last night was the first time I slept. 10:30.
And
What happened? How did it?
Yo, I was sick leading up to it, so I was sick the whole time, and I got healthier, and eventually, like my body just got with it.
All right, my bad. So
anyway,
so what's the problem?
So Jack and Hani
on early, I go to people for my TV suggestions. Everyone's like, "Yo, you gotta watch Black Mirror. Gotta watch it." Right now, there's like very few shows in that category for me, like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. People are like, you gotta watch this.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, you gotta watch Black Mirror, right? So I put it on. And then all of a sudden the caveats come in. And everyone's like, oh, if you watch it, you should start with this episode. I'm like, what the fuck would I do that for? Like, oh, well, the episodes are all different. So I'm like, I was like, no, I'm someone who, when I consume something, I like to consume it the way the artist intended it. So I like to start with the first episode. When I listen to a brand new album, I like to listen to the songs top down.
Kendrick Lamar over here.
Yeah. I'm just saying, right? Like I listen, and if it's a really great album or something that's great, I only listen to it like from top down. I experience it how the artist wanted me to intend it. So long story short, I didn't like all the caveats. So I was like, listen, man, I'm going to watch the first episode. I watched the first episode, and it is fucking disgusting.
First episode of the first season.
Yeah, first episode.
Again, just for everybody's listening, we're reviewing season 4. We're just talking about
another episode to talk about the series.
Yeah, it's just an introduction. But just
Mirror.
to anybody, you don't have to turn off because you didn't hear about it. We're doing season 4, but go on. Okay.
So it is not tastefully done. It is not intriguing television by any means. It was like, it was, for me, it was like pure shock value to get your attention into this show for whatever reason. It was obviously the acting was good, the production was good. It was obviously like a well done show.
And how was the pig?
But the message was so distorted. It basically is like they blackmail a government official, the Prime Minister of England. They kidnap his daughter. And then they have to fuck a pig live on television.
That's the ransom.
To get the daughter back.
And the guy's got to finish.
He's the Prime Minister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got to fuck a pig on live television, and he's got to finish. And
Light work.
And they show it.
Okay. All right. Who wouldn't do that to get their daughter back? I'd rather do that than give you like 10 million.
No, I'd rather give you 10 million.
I'm sorry. You've worked your entire life to build up a net worth of $10 million.
He's the Prime Minister.
There's a piglet.
There's a ransom fund.
It has a pussy.
Yo, man, you got to watch the episode.
Hold on.
By the way, it's not a piglet. Let's clarify.
It's a full-grown pig.
Wait, hold on. Was
Is
it
the
his
pig
daughter
strapped
or was
down?
it like someone important?
No, it's just hanging out. Like,
I don't
they
know
go
if it
into
was
the room
actually
and
the
it's
Prime
just.
Minister's daughter.
Wait a minute. I need some parameters here. You're saying the pig is not strapped to anything like
I don't remember
that?
it being strapped down. I think it's just eating, and he walks in and he's like,
So you have to run up behind it, grab it, and then fuck it?
And they show you this.
no, well,
Not insertion.
they don't show you that.
Can we use Viagra? Is there anything I can use to get myself
he's got
hard?
Viagra.
So you don't even have to get the boner. I just have to fuck the pig and then
Finish.
that might be hard, but you can also fake a nut. You can just be like,
No. It's the guy finishes, bro.
Yeah.
How do you know?
He fucks his pig for like 6 fucking hours until he finishes on live television.
The longer I'm fucking, the less the chance of finishing. I wouldn't be able to finish. That's different. But can I insert on a pig and then stop to save my daughter? You wouldn't do that to save your daughter.
Yo, man, I don't got kids, so
to save your daughter,
Yo, man, no, there's other avenues you take. You don't, like, there's other avenues
I
you
thought
take.
the hypothetical is that's the only avenue.
Yeah.
That's
Not
the
only will I
hypothetical.
fuck the pig, I'll eat the
But that's
bacon
it.
the next
They
day.
created a hypothetical where this is your only way out.
Light work. Cook them up. Let's go.
That's so
Ham,
natural.
Anyway,
sandwiches.
and you watch the
all
show.
day.
Hold on. So
Yeah.
this is the twist. So they told him he had to do this by a certain time or else the girl was going to get killed.
Yeah.
So here's the twist. The time that he does it, the kidnappers and you don't know till the end, they put the girl on a bridge. They were going to release her no matter what. This is the fucked up twist.
Okay.
So you're like, oh my God, this guy just did this.
No,
and-
spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Right.
it's okay. It's
all right.
Go,
It's
go,
all right.
go, go, go. We're spoiling all
Right?
this shit. Yeah.
So that's when I got into the joke. Because listen, that whole episode, I'm not like, oh, I'm not into guys fucking pigs or anything
Yeah.
like that. But I'm just like, oh, that's a fucked up twist.
And it also
Guys,
sets the
it ma-
precedent that anything fucked up
Right.
could happen in this fucking show.
And it lets you know off jump, like this show is not the conventional show.
okay.
Yeah.
So
and to Marco's point, or what he was complaining about the show, the whole concept of the show is that you can watch any episode in any order because it's an anthology show, so everything is self-contained.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
Real
so
I'm
quick.
saying I don't want
Real-
to.
no, no,
The
no.
guy who made the show put this episode first for a reason.
yeah,
this
of course.
is the first episode he wanted.
Of course.
to
But
Yo,
he also did it because it's a biblical story. I mean, he didn't fuck the pig, but the situation where he was about to kill his son, you know, what's his name? Abraham.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going to go, he takes his son to the
up
rock.
to the mountain, he's gonna kill.
He's about to kill
God
it.
tells him to kill
and
his
he's
son.
about to kill him, and then God goes,
stops
yo,
him.
yo, you're good, whatever. So maybe if he didn't, you know, protest so much about fucking the pig, they would have said, hey, you know, you realize you are a good person. Here's your daughter. We just want to make sure
gotta
you're
watch
willing to
the
save your
episode.
daughter.
You got to watch the episode.
Anyway,
because you
I'm
have
saying it's not that
Listen.
crazy. In the Bible, it's fine.
Listen, in
you
the
know?
grand scheme of things, this episode is not one of the best episodes. It's a mid-tier episode. that
Gotcha.
first
Yeah,
episode,
yeah.
Right? So
Okay.
that's why when people tell you don't watch it, because they're just like, because it's a weird one to start with. Whenever someone's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm like, don't watch episode 1. I tell them don't watch episode 1 or 2. I say,
so-
bad way to start saying how great a TV show is.
Because I'm like-
when you're like, don't watch the first episode.
But maybe it's so great because
I'm the problem.
maybe it's so great because the first episode is the way it is. Like it's such a fucking
Maybe you just don't like resonate
Because
with
You
prime
got to watch
ministers.
the episode.
If it was a president,
Andrew, you gotta
you're
watch the
American.
episode.
If it was a president, if
it was
Donald
I would not
If it
want
was
to
Trump.
Trump fuck a pig.
I would watch it nonstop.
and so would every fucking American.
You wouldn't watch Donald Trump fuck a pig.
Every single that would get the best ratings
Bad
ever.
example.
I wouldn't watch it.
I don't think I watched that shit.
Listen,
I would watch
I
it.
would sit there and I would watch.
I'd watch it at iPick.
Grab that pig by the pussy all night long. I pick.
Yeah. No, but the same thing happened to me where when I watched it early, I was like, yo, you got to check out the show Black Mirror. And everybody was like, yo, I watched that first episode, never watching it again.
Right, never
then when
again.
it came out back on Netflix a couple years ago, people were like, oh, yo, this is sick. So I get that. But I also think that's why the show is so great is because they're willing to go to places that, you know, normal shows.
But like, here's the thing. And then beyond that, everyone I talk to, yo, hold on.
What?
what are you doing?
I'm going to do an experiment. Just you do me a favor.
Okay. What is going on? Holy shit!
Yo,
This guy,
he brought
Marco
paper.
brought props.
Yo, you write down your favorite 4 episodes. You write down your favorite 4
Son,
episodes.
we
They're
talked
going to be
about
the same fucking 4 episodes.
No, we talked about this. His actually are much different than mine.
Yeah.
No.
I don't believe that.
Listen,
No,
Everyone
No,
you
this is
talk
a good experiment. You start. You write down
Yeah,
your
but
4.
we already know each other. So we
Jack,
were,
you
go,
go.
go with your legit top 4.
okay.
Right?
Go.
Go
to-
with
You
your
guys already
legit
know
top
which
4.
one.
Wait a minute. Are we? We're still not talking about the most recent season.
Nah. I'm saying this. The other problem is that it is this.
Ladies and
Everyone-
gentlemen, we will get to the most
Yeah.
recent season. I promise.
Everyone from season 1 or whatever, everyone's favorite 4 episodes are the same.
right. I think I've
That's
already seen
everyone I
it.
talked to.
The bicycle episode.
San Gennaro,
That's actually not. That's actually not. But
Listen.
here's the thing. But we're going to talk about this later.
Listen,
we're going to talk
here's
about
what
this
we're gonna
later.
do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're
All right.
gonna. You're gonna say you're for it. You're gonna say you're for it, and then we're gonna move on because a lot of people that are listening to this right now haven't seen the whole season. So
Sure, but
it's you know. So it's like go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. We can move on while you're writing that. I don't know.
Go. What are your 4?
All right. The Entire History of You,
we have that shared.
White Christmas,
We have that shared.
Be Right Back.
If I'm going with my original list, it wouldn't be on there.
Good.
Yeah.
And,
But it's on a list somewhere.
What?
I'm just
it's
fucking
okay.
with
It's
you.
okay.
7 or
4th
8.
one. Go.
The 4th one, I'd probably say.
Yeah, you trying to trick me? right
No,
now,
I'm not.
motherfucker.
I'm
I see
gonna-
how-
I'm
I see-
gonna say
You know
the-
how I play.
I'm
Go.
going to say the one. I don't know the name of it. It's the one with Bronn. There's an episode that has Bronn from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called Shut Up and Dance.
Shut Up and
Okay.
Dance.
And your 4?
My 4.
First 2 the same.
First 2.
First 2 the same. Then I go Playtest. I go Men Against Fire. And
That's it.
That's it.
That's your 4. So two same, two word. Okay.
Listen, there's a top. It's kind of like Jay-Z albums, right? Where everyone agrees on the top 3 Jay-Z albums,
Yeah.
and then everyone kind of varies on the next 5.
Yeah, because they're trash.
Right? So
Well, not the Jay-Z album. Actually, yo, no.
So this
no
is-
Depends on which one you're talking about.
If you're listening, Jay, there's no disrespect.
So this is like everyone agrees on the best ones, and then the next few everyone kind of varies because that mid tier. So there's a top tier, a mid tier, and a bottom tier.
Yeah.
How is
Now,
this
mid-tier
different
is
from
pretty
any
good.
show?
It's not different, but the difference is each episode is different.
It's like a short film. It's basically like we're ranking like short films within.
I mean, that's what this
bubble of
that's
a
what this
concept.
series is, right? It's there are interesting worlds and interesting. Each episode is something that's not good enough to be a movie, but entertaining as a TV show.
But they all share the same theme, so you know like kind of what you're getting into, but you don't know anything at all.
Sure.
That's what I love about it is that like we have so many shows that you get invested in the characters, you get invested in the story, the setting. This is like the setting, the characters, everything could be different, and it's kind of like a ride every time.
But if it was a movie, you'd be like,
Well,
I don't know if
because
this-
they take out the hard parts, building up a scenario, right? Like they just pluck you in the middle of the world where all the rules have already.
but that is
You know
how
what I'm saying?
that
I love
is how
that.
good movies work, though. A good movie, the first 5 to 10 minutes, you're confused. And you're like, what is happening? What's
picking-
going on?
No, and then
it's
they
already
explain
there.
to you how
And then
things
there
got
is an
there, right?
explanation period. And I feel like they do that in the
do that
show.
in the show.
I just feel like these individual episodes, they don't have the what is the best word to put it? They don't have the meat for a whole film, but they're really entertaining in a 45-minute show.
they're short films.
They're short films.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Or what is a normal short film? Like 30 minutes?
Could be
or something
30
like that?
to
So they
45.
stretch out a short film.
yeah. But I like that. I mean, how many times do you get to watch a short film?
I like this just because I'm a world guy. Like, it's hard for me to watch a show that just takes place in New York or a show that takes place in LA. I need something else going on. Like, I loved Bright because it was in LA, but now we got trolls, we got orcs, we got fairies and shit. We have just different things. And each one of these worlds it looks familiar, but
It's near
there's
future.
but it's something else. Something else
Yeah.
is happening,
Yeah.
which triggers all this different conflict, et cetera. So I like being a voyeur in these different worlds. I'm into the series, but I also understand where you're coming from, which is it was blown up. Everybody said it was the best thing ever, and I watched a few episodes. I was like, all right, this is fun. My biggest issue with it was like, I don't feel good while I'm watching it.
That's the
and
thing.
when I'm done, I feel bad. It's like
But you want to keep going weirdly.
you know what it is? It's like a shitty like Middle Eastern dessert. Have you guys ever had like
my
what is
whole
that?
life.
What is it, bro? What is that dessert? It's like cheese and like string.
kunefa.
Kunefa, right? It's called kunefa,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm eating this, and it's supposed to be dessert, and I'm wasting all these dessert calories, and it's like
And you're
I'm
like, why
eating
am I wasting
fucking
these dessert
goat
calories?
cheese and like hair.
I mean,
And
goat
I'm-
cheese.
What do you mean
and
string?
It's just this weird dessert, and it's
It's
like
like
phyllo,
phyllo dough, but
and
like-
tons of sugar.
and just fucking pounds of honey. It's very rich.
Oh,
it's
my
not
God.
that good, but because it's so sweet, you're like, I like sugar, but it's a waste of calories.
But that's the show. It's like the whole time I'm eating, I'm like, this feels horrible. And then after I ate, I'm like, why the fuck did I eat that?
Yeah.
And
You're like, I
I
kinda want
understand that a lot of work went into making this. You have to take the hairs and you have to take the cheese and put it all together. But at the end of the day, I'm like, is this something I want to continue doing?
Yo, but
Yeah.
the thing that happened to me was like 3 episodes in,
Yeah.
like, that feeling got numb because it's like, oh, I just feel the same.
But then he just
okay,
couldn't sleep for
all
4
Keep
days.
that, keep,
No, I was
keep that because I want to talk about that, and I don't know
All
when
right.
you guys
Say
want
it
to
now.
jump into the season.
Let's jump in right now. Go.
All right, so
First
I-
episode.
So overall, this season I thought it was okay.
Yeah,
right?
not the best season.
Not
ever.
the best season.
I thought it sucked.
Right.
Why do you think?
But now here-
let me
so-
ask you this: why do you think so many people were drawn to this season?
Because
Hype from last season.
yeah, like
But the cats weren't talking about it like
I think
that
people-
last
I think
season.
people- they were.
This
The
shit blew up.
No.
this
Last season, the people were
because
talking
the
about
hype
it.
has
Yeah.
grown, and because it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
right? It's like
It was always on Netflix
so
last
the first
season.
7
People
episodes-
weren't excited for Black Mirror 2 because they saw it and then when liked it. They were excited because they loved season 1.
Okay,
No,
fair.
no,
No,
So-
I think season 2 and last season was really
season
good.
1, season 2 were the BBC.
When
All
I
right.
Say your
season-
point.
when
Say
I
your
say
point.
season 1, I mean
I know
the
what you
first
mean.
drop.
Yeah. Go.
Anyway, when I first started watching the show, you felt like you said you felt awful when you're watching it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't feel
Right?
good. Yeah.
And I didn't like that. But then I think I actually really fucking did like that
Mm-hmm.
because this season I didn't feel like that, and I'm like, yo, why the fuck don't I feel like that? And I missed it. That's why I didn't like some of these episodes because I'm not like, wait, I just got done watching this episode. I don't want to curl up in a ball and bang my head against the floor.
Well, how
And
did
I don't like
how
that.
did it make you feel then?
Like, whatever. Some episodes.
You don't think it's the fact that you've watched now like
maybe
12 episodes
am I
of this
just
shit?
numb? Am I
and
just
you're just
numb?
like, oh, I get it. Technology sucks because it's ruining us as a society.
Am I just
and it's, this guy fucked up because of that.
Am I just numb, or were these episodes not as good?
Well, these episodes weren't as good, but it's not just because of the pain you felt. It's because they just weren't that good.
No, but I'm saying,
No, I think it's a mix
before
of
the
both.
writing wasn't as good.
I understand what
Yeah,
he's
it wasn't. You're right.
There were a couple episodes that almost like had like weird happy endings, and it was just like, this is weird. I don't know.
I didn't expect to feel happy at the end. Yeah, exactly.
Twice. There were like 2 or 3 episodes. I was just like, I kind of feel happy.
Yo,
Let's
let's just. You want to go? How do you want to do this? You want to go through like each episode?
by
Yeah,
episode?
let's do episode by episode. So, episode 1. You want to set it up, Jack?
Yeah, USS Callister. We got my boy Jesse Plemons.
I fuck with that kid.
Yo, he's
Who's
good.
that?
It's great.
That kid.
That's
Friday Night Lights.
Breaking
You want to
Bad.
talk about Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad. Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights, Breaking Bad, Fargo.
Yeah, he's great.
Beast.
He's
This
great.
kid is a beast.
He's fucking great.
But set up the
Did
world.
you watch the episode?
Yeah, so-
Yeah.
The main dude.
Okay, that's all I asked for.
Yeah. All right. You didn't recognize him?
Who
when
was
you
he
were
in Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I don't
He was
know.
like the
who's
dumb
Breaking
kid.
Bad.
He was like Walter White's like dumb assistant kid.
Yeah, he takes over for Jesse and then
Yeah. I forgot about
kills
that.
the kid.
Yes,
Spoiler alert.
yes.
Yo, real quick before we go into talk about Breaking Bad, did you know whose voice was at the end of it?
And
Yeah.
what?
At the end of the episode.
Of USS Callister.
Cranston?
So someone
it was
calls
when
them
they're in the cloud.
when they're in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
cloud.
I
They're
remember
actually
that. Yeah, yeah.
playing
I
the
recognize
real
the voice.
life
Who the fuck
game.
was that?
It was Jesse
was
Pinkman,
Jesse
son.
Pinkman.
Aaron Paul.
Ah, yo.
and
Okay.
people are upset that he didn't drop a bitch.
Yeah, I know. I wanted a bitch. I wanted a bitch, bro. All right, go. So break out the world.
Yeah, so the world we open, it's like a Star Trek kind of knockoff, and you think that someone's watching it. Like I actually thought the first time I watched it that the character that we were going to follow was watching this. This was his favorite show,
Right.
but it turns out he's living in a simulation that he created because he's a computer programmer for a. Did they say what the actual service was? It
was a video game.
Video game company.
Yeah.
In the future, the service is that they put a little chip on your head, and it's like VR, except like real, very real. And we find out that this guy is just a creep. He's just been taking DNA samples.
He has his own version of the game.
Yeah.
So he's a coder.
Yeah.
He has his own version of the game that he can play privately. And what he can do is he can take your DNA. So if you take a sip of a coffee or some shit like that, and everybody listening has already seen the episode, but take a sip of a coffee, puts it in a machine, and then boom, all of a sudden, what happened? And then boom, all of a sudden, your whole body and self is recreated in this game, and you actually think it's you in this game. So it's a simulation of you, but you feel like it's you. You have the same yearning to live. You have no like body parts, so you can't fuck. But and boom, that's what it is. So he's and basically what he does is he uses this world to be the person that he'd like to be in the real world, which is what a lot of
He's a pushover in the real world.
Exactly. He's a pushover. The guy who he started the business with just tells him what to do, calls him a bitch. All the girls there treat him like shit. They call him a weirdo.
Interns don't even respect him.
Nobody respects him. The intern wouldn't even get him a fucking vanilla latte. Like that's wild disrespect.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, it was crazy. So he's just a total pussy, and like most pussies, they have this outlet, which is a video game or some sort of a space where they can be his brave self, and that's where he is. Only now he has these people captured within his video game.
Mm-hmm.
And then this girl comes in who is kind of his love interest, and she's like, "Hey, we have to get out of this video game."
But
She
it's
wants
not
to
really
survive.
them. It's now a clone of
It's a
themselves.
simulation, but
their
they feel
consciousness-
It's still their consciousness. It's
exact
just
same
removed from-
consciousness. They feel like it's themselves, etc. Right? It's very similar to like the Elon Musk theory that we might be a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that? Like Elon Musk has his theory about humanity, which is like, how do you know we are here? How do you know we're not just a simulation of a much more advanced race, and they're just having fun and letting us play ourselves out, etc. Okay, fine, whatever. Which is a common theme in this season, by the way. There's a lot of this. Are we just simulations? Episode 4 is a simulation, etc. Here's the big thing with this the episode. They want to be freed from this guy. They end up being freed from him. They're in the cloud, which is essentially in the video game. So they're an active group in the video game.
But they're online by the end of it.
They're online, but now they're like playing World of Warcraft,
Yeah, yeah.
but they're like actually themselves playing it. Isn't that a worse world?
No.
Like,
No,
think
but-
about
forever
the
now.
world of gamers. The world of gamers is just racism, homophobia, sexism. All it is derogatory terminology. That's the only thing you're going to be
So they were
hearing.
trying to die. Their mission, the clone, like
Correct.
the clone,
Yeah.
they were trying to
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
Instead, they ended up on the cloud.
Yeah.
Now in this world.
Yeah.
So Just to point that out.
That's another thing I noticed in this whole season is this. It's like whatever we want, what we can't have, right? In every episode where there's eternal life or there's an eternal relationship or eternal whatever, we want out of it. And the second, in our lives right now, we want to extend it as far as we can. You know, these guys are put in the position where they don't need water, they don't need food, they don't need shelter, they don't need everything. They have companionship, they have friends. All they got to do is a few times a day hang out with this guy and tell him what they want to do. That's their job.
Yeah.
Right, but it's from a perspective of like you right now being what you do for a living, and like you're trying to be a actor or whatever. That's like and then also when we pluck you out and we're just like, you're gonna play this role.
You're just a prisoner.
Even though your consciousness is still here doing this stuff.
Yeah,
you don't feel that way. You just feel like you're separated from your life.
Why not just work a deal with him and be like, hey, when you're not here, can we like find some things that we enjoy and then we come back and we'll play along?
My whole thing is I don't understand is like how easily they hated this life under him, right?
Yeah.
And then they wanted to get out, they wanted to die, and then they didn't. Yeah. And then they just so easily accepted like, oh, okay, we're gonna run the galaxy now.
This is what
you're still in the same shit situation.
I was kind of on the fence on the episodes. Like I kind of like some of it. I thought they spent too much time in this world. I was actually more interested in the other world.
Way more interested in the other world. Yeah.
I don't know about that. But
that
like
first cut when it cuts to him in the elevator, you're like, oh shit.
That last scene where, they're like, oh, we got to bolt out of this area. She's like, we can go anywhere. And she smiles. I'm just like, nah, man, fuck that. That kind of gets back to like, this is like a happy ending, even though it's not.
Yeah, it's not though, because I like
it's not, but they're happy. And I don't want them
they don't want to
be
die. What they want is to be free. And death is their version of freedom.
I guess, but like, so that's what I hate. Like once I saw her smile, I was like, man, fuck this episode.
But what happened to Jimmy Simpson? First of all, shout out to Jimmy.
Yeah,
what up, Jimmy?
That's your boy.
What up, son? What up? Coming for you. You did a great job. He's a great actor.
No, he was good.
He's such a good actor.
He had that monologue.
I think I'm a very objective guy.
I didn't like the monologue.
I liked it.
I thought it was cheesy writing. Not necessarily by him. I thought it was cheesy writing. I thought it was just cheesy. But like everything else, I thought he killed every other thing.
You don't think that you'd be able to like
about his son.
But wouldn't you be like a little?
His son, he just watched die a slow.
But it's your fake son. It's a why? Like they understand they're in a fake world.
Still felt that in his
No,
head.
you don't have a dick. You open your pants and you look like a Barbie.
Oh,
right?
I didn't like that when they got to the cloud, they all of a sudden they had dicks. And vaginas and whatever.
It was too happy ending. It was like, now we can fuck, so it's okay that we're all in this little world together.
I don't know.
Okay, but the point is, the point is about the Jimmy Simpson kid thing. If you know it's fake, yes, he looks real and you love him and all that stuff, but you know it's fake and you know he's real in the real world and you guys are a simulation. You can get over that shit.
You're not wrong.
Right? I can get over that shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I love him and I'm here, but I know that we could just recreate him again. It's not real.
Right.
It's a pet.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? Like
A lot of holes, man. A lot of holes in that.
That's what, like, usually the writing in Black Mirror is great, and I feel like the writing this season was not.
And also, it was like, I understand like how it's technology, it's in the future, and it's like a little far fetched.
Yeah.
This is like really fucking far fetched. That he could like take a cup, clone your DNA overnight, and then like clone your consciousness into like a video game. Like it was not how most of the episodes I saw is like they kind of like critique technology and enhance it, like just the stuff shit we already got.
Yeah.
This was just like, this is like.
I feel like Charlie Brooker is just a big Trekkie, like a big Star Trek.
So it was an homage to that shit.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he forced it a little bit.
I didn't think this was a good episode.
I thought it was fun. I had a fun time, but you're right.
It was
like
fun.
I
would like to spend more time in the other world. It was fun.
She was good. The lead actress was really
She was great,
good.
yeah.
What else has she been in? Was she Leo's wife in Wolf of Wall Street?
She was in Fargo. She was in the TV show Fargo as well.
I knew she was Leo's wife in Wolf of Wall Street.
And she was in Fargo.
Yeah, she was great. I thought she was so good. And this guy's fucking phenomenal. This dude,
Plemons, dude.
Jesse Plemons,
dude, he's a
great.
great comedic actor. Put him in comedy. Why is he on this drama?
He's great at everything.
You know
he's
great. What? John C. O'Reilly? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. Yeah, it's like him and I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. The first season of True Detective.
Woody Harrelson.
Him and Harrelson are like, in my opinion, the best drama and comedy actors. People who could do both.
We've talked about this before.
Had this combo,
And I threw in Jamie Foxx as well.
Jamie, of course. Jamie's a beast. But this kid, too.
This kid
is so funny.
He, a couple times the way he walked, a couple of his mannerisms, like, he's like the next Matt Damon. Right? Like, he was very Matt Damon.
A fatter Matt Damon,
Yeah, Fat Damon.
Like, just kind of like the way he kind of does, like, I don't know, these mannerisms.
I can see that. All right.
I was like,
I can see that.
I mean, his face, he looks like a little bit uglier Matt Damon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but he nailed it. He nailed the dual roles kind of in this.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of sympathize him at first before you find out how creepy he is. Like you kind of think like, oh, he's just being taken advantage of in this technology that he created.
I do like that about this series.
Yeah.
Is that they make us sympathize and empathize with a character.
These terrible
and
human
then
beings.
turn him into a piece of shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now we have to make that turn. Right? And that is clever and that is hard to do. Make somebody, it's hard to make me like someone and then dislike the person who just made me like. So that's ballsy.
You see the
writing
human
to
in
do.
every single,
Yeah.
But now also the guy who you feel bad for,
Yeah.
his version in real life,
Yeah.
he's like kind of done at the end. Like
He's like dead. Right?
he's
Yeah,
like
he's-
dead.
he's
like
dead,
not
yeah. Well,
dead,
he's-
but
he's
like
stuck in the
he's
world forever.
stuck. Like and no one's gonna like a guy lives alone. No one's gonna come check on him. He's gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that's what it is? You think that?
Yeah, I think in real life he's not going to make it.
He's gonna die. So
Fam,
the guy who you're sympathetic for is the one that dies. The bad guy, like he's just gonna like live in.
Hold on.
whatever.
They're going to need a new update. Jimmy Simpson's going to come to the house. He's going to see he's plugged in the game.
No,
and
because
then
the
boom,
update
he's
went
back
in. The update was done.
But they're going to need a new
Someone's
update.
gonna check on
No,
him though. Yeah.
maybe
No, you're right. You're right. They had a
month,
deadline.
but
They had
after
to
he
meet.
hasn't eaten.
How long is he gonna sit in that chair before he dies?
You could be in that chair. You could be in that chair for 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
I think you could be in
I
that
don't
chair.
think anyone's
your brain is
Also,
stimulated-
It's Christmas Eve.
stimulated
Yo,
the
no
whole
one's checking on homeboy. He's
Second
dead.
week. Second week.
No, look, they had a
Fuck, you're
deadline
right
at
about
work.
Christmas Eve.
Yo, but he might have
Everybody's going to go on
family.
vacation.
Yo, it's January 4th. They're gonna go looking for him, and he's gonna be dead.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Shorty knows that he's in there. Shorty's going to say something.
She's not saying shit.
She's going to let him die
Yeah.
in the apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she got the message.
Now she's...
So
No, but she did it selfishly. She did it because she didn't
pictures.
want the nudes
Yeah, but
leaked.
she knows
which
there's
is
some shit going on.
which is a weird thing because it's like the nudes weren't crazy. Like you're in like some lingerie bent over.
Well, they didn't show that. They
And
cut
you're
away,
like,
and then
not
they're like,
anybody in
oh,
particular.
Exactly. It's not like, oh my God, my coding career will be destroyed if my nudes get leaked. You know what I mean? It's just, if anything, that's good. You can be the hottest coder on the market.
on the cover of Wired magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I pivot into
Please.
not the next episode, but
Just go.
right? So when do you think she'd ever say, "Oh no, he's in his apartment. I know, I broke in."
Nah.
Right? Because now let's pivot to the episode. I believe it's called Crocodile. Right?
That's the latest one.
I didn't see that one.
That's the fourth. That was number 4.
That was number 3, I believe.
Okay, number 3.
Right?
No, 3 was Archangel, wasn't it?
No,
that
two.
was two.
Two was
was
Archangel.
yeah.
Okay.
3 is Crocodile, where the person won't refuses to admit guilt on anything and just keeps making the situation worse.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
worse,
yeah, yeah.
And worse. You know what I'm talking about?
Classic.
Did you watch this?
Yeah.
Where she
Classic
just
girlfriend.
keeps killing
Yo,
people
That was stupid too.
in the most outrageous.
They just turned this person. So episode 2. We want to talk about Crocodile now.
Yeah, let's move
let's
into
do
that.
that. So
Episode
it's episode 3.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. Episode 3. Crocodile. Her and her, at the time, person she was dating, having fun with, at a club with. They leave the club. He's drunk. They're driving. They hit a random person on the road, kill him. So he's like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do?
He's driving, by the way.
He's driving.
Yeah, yeah.
He's driving, not her. So he's like, we got to just get rid of the body. Like, what are we going to do? She
Yeah.
says, can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And finally they decide, bury the body. Flash forwards what?
She doesn't want to.
She doesn't want to.
She doesn't want to.
She protests.
Mm-hmm.
But, and everybody
goes
Then
with
she helps. They put him in a sleeping bag. They put some rocks in a sleeping bag. Throw him into the fucking beautiful
right?
water.
Typical thing.
Yeah.
Right? Seen this before. So anyway, flash forwards what, 10, 15 years?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. She's now moved on. She's
She
a
got a
famous
family.
architect. She's a family. Like things are going good. She's fine. She's on a business trip. She's doing a conference of some sorts. And this guy reemerges in her life.
Boom.
And he is consumed with guilt. And
Because he found out that the wife of the person that
never
they killed
moved on.
never moved on.
Thinks
Still
that
waiting.
he's still
for
out
him.
there,
Yeah.
whatever. So he's totally consumed with
And
guilt.
he's sober, and part of being sober is you have to apologize and make amends with all these people you've affected.
Correct.
So he wants to anonymously do that.
anonymously do that.
Yeah.
And
This is-
she is terrified that it's going to blow everything.
Yeah.
So then
He wants to anonymously write a letter to the wife of the person they killed saying, listen, he's dead. I killed him.
Yeah.
He tells her,
Because
I'm
they
not
never
gonna
found a
include you.
body. They never found a
He's like,
body.
"Never found a body."
So she was waiting for him to come back.
That's
this
her way
whole
out.
time.
Right? He's like, I want to anonymously write, and I'm not going to say anyone
Right.
else involved, just me. And she's just like, no, they're going to trace it back.
Yeah.
somehow they'll trace it back. They'll figure it out, right?
Uh-huh.
And he,
So they're in the hotel room and they're having this argument, and some fucking how this woman who was giving up probably 6 inches and 60 pounds to this guy,
Yep.
like tackles him to the ground, and kills him. It makes no physical sense.
Everything from then on, I couldn't believe.
Could not.
There's no way this 5-foot blonde, she looked like Bjork, is going to take down this guy.
Hit him with like the bear hug.
Like Zangief.
And then the flop.
And then falls on top of him. Physics would not even allow that.
Make any sense.
Then chokes him out with just a forearm. Listen, she's
Look
not
how big that forearm is.
Listen. Literally,
it looks so delicate holding the wine glass.
Exactly. There's no way in fucking hell. They turned her into Brianna Tarth in like 2 minutes.
Same haircut.
Exactly. That's it.
Not the same
and we're
woman.
supposed to believe it.
No.
And this theme of her being powerful and scary continues because then when the Indian chick that's been following her around.
Wait, what is this all about? I just read a thing on the IMDb page. What's this thing about memories?
Yeah.
Accessing memories?
All right. So while she's...
Wait, did you not see the app?
I haven't seen it, no.
This is the one he didn't see. So while she's killing this guy, another accident happens on the street.
At the same time.
Right after she kills him. That she witnesses.
This car that is self-driven hits this guy.
Hold on. It's not just a car. This is a self-driving
truck?
This is a self-driving pizza delivery.
Pizza delivery
How
truck.
bad do you want that
shit
technology?
was-
Yo, what's up with the pizza delivery?
You walk up to it and it pops out the thing. It was sick. It was actually very good.
A lot of pizza delivery in this season.
Right? So, yeah, a guy gets hit by a pizza delivery and he's trying to sue the company.
Now, what an insurance company does is to check on the claim, they go and they interview people. Instead of interviewing people and asking them what happens, they attach this thing to their head, and whatever they're thinking and recreating pops up in a little screen. Now, it is the most advanced technology, and somehow they're using like a 1980s TV with a back.
That was amazing.
It's the weirdest. It looks like one of the first computers made by Apple.
Like the old Macs.
That's kind of cool though, because an insurance company
would
would
a laptop. All you need is a laptop. We could probably process it, but no. So she's looking at memories, and she's looking at all these different memories. To make a long story short, she eventually goes to this girl and looks at her memories, and all of a sudden she sees the flashbacks of when she went Super Saiyan and started choking this motherfucker out. She tries to leave the spot, and this girl notices that she's scared and breaks her car window. Now, instead of the girl fighting back, she just goes, son, it's another woman. It's just
It's a coin
that's a
flip.
50-50.
It's a coin
That's
flip.
all I'm saying. It's lady versus
Jump off.
lady.
It's a jump
We've
off.
seen this on World Star 1,000 times.
knuckle
The
up.
young girl can take her down, grab some fucking hair, and let's go, shorty. I don't understand what the problem is.
Not good.
Bro,
Not good.
infuriating.
So she kills that girl.
Ties her up.
She's like, who have you told? The girl's like, no one. She hooks up the memory thing to her, sees that the girl told her husband.
Now, her husband is Kyrie Irving if he was a beta male cuck. So he's Kyrie Irving, right? He's wearing flannel. He's not allowed to leave. He's a house husband. He's got a coffee in his hand in every single scene. He's just a complete pussy, right? And like she goes, I'm gonna go and finish my job. And he goes, it's a little late. Like every line is what a woman should be saying in a movie. Like she doesn't want the husband going out too late. You're gonna miss dinner, etc. So to further the cuck theme going on with him, when she comes back to the house to kill him, he's in a bath.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's like you already got him in a flannel drinking tea. You're going to put him in a fucking bath.
What man would like wash himself in his own filth?
It's disgusting.
Like, that's all you're doing.
It's just awful. I don't understand it. He's in a bath, and she hits him once in the head with a hammer, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't knock him out.
And he still can't fight back.
Yeah, he's still washing himself. He's got a loofah. He's under the armpits.
No, he got hit in the head on the hammer and like kind of like died on the spot.
Nah, he looked at her. He's like, what are you doing?
But then like sunk into the water. Like
I think she hit him again.
A few more times.
A few more times.
All right.
There's only so much torque her 80 pounds could put behind that hammer. It doesn't make sense. He should have had time to like put his hands up.
So now she's just on a full-fledged killing spree to make sure that there are no...
No, here's the baby.
So here's the thing.
Right?
She got a baby, and then she looks, and the baby is looking at her. So now, obviously, you can hook the thing up. If she leaves the scene, you can hook that thing up to the baby, and the baby's going to see her.
Yo, this
What do you
sounds like a
think-
crazy episode.
What do you think happens next?
Kills the baby.
The
But you
only
don't know
believable
that.
death.
Baby.
The only believable
You don't-
murder.
you don't see
I
it.
believe the baby
The only
kill.
one where she
It
was a
ends
heavy
with her
favorite
just-
going.
No, so there's a scene later where there's another detective going, I don't know how somebody could have done this.
Yeah, like
I
that-
get the baby killing. That's the one believable one. The other ones are completely unbelievable. Even if you looked at someone's memory of what happened, you'd be like, no, this must be a fake memory. There's no way a 90-pound blonde chick could take down a grown-ass
tampered with
man.
this.
This is false recovery. Definitely false recovery. Throw out the tape.
Yo.
So
I
how does
didn't
it
even
end?
Think about it from that angle.
The shit ends where
really ruined this episode for
fam,
me.
it's just make all you have to do is make her a butch ass lady. Make her 6'4".
I mean, something a little bit more like athletic. Maybe
Karate.
Maybe she does
does
CrossFit.
That's it.
Right? Like
3 pull-ups. The whole episode is
a
believable.
little bit of lap. Right? A little bit of lap behind that.
Or that she has some training of some
Exactly.
sort.
Jack, so she sees the baby. That scene ends. You don't know what she did. She's driving. She has to make it to her kid's like rehearsal, like a recital, whatever.
Other
right?
kid.
Her real child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So on the way there, she's telling her husband, "I'm gonna be right there." You see the detective going like, "Who kills a baby?" Right. The twist is they're like, "All right, there's a guinea pig in the baby's room." They're like, "Let's see what you saw." They take the guinea pig. So now they're gonna hook up the memory thing to the guinea pig. Right. So the show ends as she's at the recital. Police come in.
Which kind of doesn't make sense, though.
I didn't know that the police came
Yeah.
in.
The police come in.
Yeah.
She's at the recital. The police come in. She's kind of like sitting at the recital. She looks, sees the police come in, and she immediately knows, like,
I'm going down.
this is fucked. And then that's where the show.
Couple things.
Wow.
I missed that whole last
Yo,
part.
The police came in to get it.
They hooked it up to the guinea. How are you not just seeing a spinning wheel? That's every memory.
She had to go back and
Yes, you have to say, I want you to think about this night.
So how did they get the guinea pig to give up the baby
Yo,
killing?
man, you just
right?
just like, what are you thinking about, dog?
Yo,
You're just hoping. You're just hoping.
You're just hoping
They
you
make
can
him.
help it,
They make
right?
him smell the beer as well.
A little bit of sense there. And then she got arrested.
Yo, this episode sounds kind of.
Dog,
It wasn't epic.
I really liked the
Can I-
episode until these motherfuckers kind of brought it down. What I didn't like was
Take a
the
side.
first killing, not the first killing, but the when she killed the guy that just like, I'm gonna write the anonymous letter. She's just like, bad idea. I'm gonna kill you.
Okay.
and then kill everybody else.
we acknowledge-
that, like it was just like a downward spiral?
One thing about that killing, one thing about the second killing, not only is it a guy that she kills, he's been sober for 9 months. He's in the best shape of his life, this guy. He's been in the gym. He's been working out. If he was drunk and he went there, more believable.
A little bit believable.
Inebriated.
Inebriated.
The guy is ready.
Maybe he was already in a bar fight,
He's been...
right?
Yeah.
The guy is fine. He's a little bit of emotionally distressed.
I
He's
gotta see this
emotionally
episode.
distressed, but capable of defending himself
If she
against...
would have wrapped her arms around this guy in real life, and gave it all she had, the guy would probably just stand there and be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, but
This is an aggressive hug.
He
Are we-
literally just punched her on the top of the head.
It made no sense.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to acknowledge one other thing about the episode, and it seems like we're just ripping it to shreds, but there's one thing.
Wait, is this him?
Nah.
Oh, I was gonna say if this was him, he's in the episode apparently.
No. Maybe it was.
Holy
Oh no,
shit.
that was her husband, her real husband.
Yeah,
no,
that's
no,
her
no,
real
no,
husband.
no,
This
no,
is the
no.
hammer guy.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
The only
her-
man
that's
she
the guy
respects.
she's actually married.
That's
to.
her-
I
her
got
actual
you.
husband.
He
So-
was soft as hell in the show.
Can we just acknowledge
Yep.
one thing about how annoying those bikers are on the side of highways? In the beginning of the episode, they hit the biker on the side of the highway.
Well, I mean, that's a whole other podcast we could do on these bikers.
All I'm
out
saying-
here, and especially New York City.
Well, okay, New York City
No.
is one thing. Maybe you want to get around. Maybe there's a little traffic. But these people, these like
The
cross country,
the entitlement of these bikers.
it's astonishing.
They think they're in
It's
like a force field.
You can get hit.
You know what I mean?
You can get
when you got
clipped.
your license. What did they tell you? Like you're to be a defensive
driver.
Right? But now it's like this entitlement where it's these bikers are like don't victim blame me.
They're
if I
not
get hit.
defensive.
They're not defensive.
Not
at
in the
all.
least. They'll cut you off.
They'll
They think a
cut you
hand entitles them to cross in front of you.
That's not how it works.
No, it's
and
physics.
they don't stop at lights and stuff like that either. They cheat.
go.
They
They go.
They're not playing by the rules.
Listen. If you get hit, you get hit. That's
get
all I'm
hit.
trying to say. And when I open doors, when I'm in a cab, this sounds bad. Maybe it's bad karma.
You hope you hit a bike?
I don't look. I don't look. I open the door right. I open it. And listen.
I've gotten into altercations with people.
Really?
Yeah.
What
I
happened?
got out of a cab and I shut the door and I was probably 4 or 5 seconds away from this guy.
Okay.
So I got out of the cab, shut the door,
Yeah.
walked in the curb, and then he comes by me. And as he comes by me, he says something.
No.
I ran down 3 blocks.
No.
And until I got him at a stoplight. Was he going to say something to me? It's like I said, we didn't even have a confrontation.
One
Like,
question.
I was out of the path.
Were you wearing a cable knit sweater?
Yo, no buttons on this
Talk
one.
about the last one. You don't remember the last one?
No,
This is a good sweater.
called it slipping. Yo, but anyway,
Point is, they hit this biker who's on the side of the fucking road. It's a 1-lane highway in the middle of the mountains. I understand it's a nice bike ride, but you should
it's also probably like 5 a.m. They're leaving the club.
It's like on a certain point in time here, bikers, you should be moving out of the way of the car if you see it. I really do feel that way. So this whole thing is started kind of by an asshole biker that wants to get exercise at 5 in the morning on a Saturday, most likely.
Probably a good point to be made.
Just hit the motherfucker. And
the problem was the Dewey, though. That was the thing.
The Dewey is fucked up, but you don't have to kill him. I'm out.
You kill someone?
I'm out. I'm out.
No. What?
If you kill, you get a DUI, fam.
I'm saying, but you would kill someone to avoid.
I'm leaving him there, dog. I'm leaving him there.
I thought my impression was he was.
All I'm saying is you leave him there.
Yeah,
that's it. You listen. He didn't remember you. He didn't look at you.
And then the wife,
so they can't
the
put
wife
the thing
would have never
on
felt that guilt because she would already know, right? They'd avoid the whole thing.
Done. She would have known that her husband was dead. Exactly. That's how you avoid the whole thing. Now, in retrospect, what do you think you probably do? You probably try to save him, maybe bring him to the hospital.
That dude?
Yeah.
Nah, man, you dumped
Listen,
that
you
bomb.
out. You out? Dipset?
No, hold on. Once you're in that situation, you're in it.
Yo, it's a good hypothetical. What do we do in this one? Go. You hit somebody.
I've hit a pedestrian.
Yeah, yo, this is crazy story.
Hold up.
This
what?
is crazy story.
Yeah, you told the story.
This is like a Black Mirror episode.
Yo,
and don't drink. That's
dead or
yo, this is.
You get out the car, you praying.
Wait, can you legally go there?
What?
Can you legally tell the story?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
so what happened? You hit the. Yeah, he's dead. We killed him. There's no evidence. Yeah,
I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Just graduated high school.
Please don't tell me you killed someone.
She didn't die.
Yo, is she good?
Wasn't this like I know what you did last summer? Start like this,
bro.
Yeah.
Yo, we were.
This is how the Black Mirror episode starts. We hear the story and then we have to.
Group of friends hanging out at one friend's house. Yeah. We're going to my house, and we were in two cars.
Yo, like Hani lives in the Poconos. Also,
I grew up in the Poconos. Right.
FYI.
So we're in. It was me and my boy Ibn in my car, and then in the other car, everyone was getting high. That's why like we were in two cars, right? So they were getting high in the other car behind us. I'm leading the way,
the righteous
and I'm
car.
not speeding because I know exactly what's going on in the car behind me, right? So I come down the hill. There's a bar. Picture I don't know, like a highway, not a highway, but like a 4-lane highway with a median.
Yeah.
Right? So 2 lanes going each direction.
Yep.
Right? There's a bar on one side and like an apartment complex on the other side.
Okay.
Some drunk lady walks out and tries to cross over the
Jesus.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm coming down the hill. I see her. I brake. She runs back and forth like a deer in headlights. Like, if she just committed to one side and booked it, she would have went. But she's going like just going back and forth, right?
She was like sliding on defense.
So I'm swerving until I just fucking smash into her. She hits the car on the cracks, smashes the windshield.
What?
Head leaves a dent in the hood, the
What?
roof of the car, right? By the time it's on the brakes, she goes flying off the car, right? So she's like, I get out the car. I just had a flashback.
There is a dark side to Hani, son.
Yeah, this is why he's numb. This is why he's numb to this episode.
This is why he can't. Earlier in the episode, I just can't feel anything when I watch Black Mirror because you done killed motherfuckers already and shit too close. You dealt with these feelings already.
She's like,
God damn.
No, I'm laughing because,
bro, did you hear him what he said about this episode? This was a good episode where the guy kills the person in the car before y'all ruined it. I really enjoyed the feelings this episode gave me.
nostalgia.
Okay, all right, go.
Anyway, she didn't die.
Yeah.
She made it. The cop came, like we waited.
Yeah.
We were clearing traffic, other accidents.
She was
started
knocked out?
happening.
She was knocked
She's
out?
screaming.
Oh, that's good. That she's alive.
Screaming. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
oof, thank God.
That was relief.
Yeah,
Alive and
right?
in pain. It's great.
Yo, cop came up to me and was like, listen, like, you have some other witnesses here. They're saying she's drunk. I could tell she's drunk. As long as you weren't speeding, you're good.
And you weren't.
We're going to tell by the skid marks. They could determine that. I said, yo, I wasn't speeding. I was like, you'll never.
Skid marks don't lie.
Cop says you'll never hear from me again. Never hear from them again. But that moment was the scariest moment of my life. I'm like, oh, I'm going to jail. Fuck, I'm 18. I'm at no more college. I'm going to jail.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Son.
Yo,
there's more. Yeah.
What was it?
No, you can't.
There's other random details because Jack was with after you left. Yeah, after you left that night. Jack heard the full story.
What's the other
leave
Off the air.
Nah. You can't tell.
Just like scumbag. My friend.
Yeah, leave it off the air. I don't want to hear about it.
All right, Jesus
I know
Anyway,
I know them boys got some bad at them. So I don't know.
Who? Ibn?
No, not my boy was good. It's the white. It's always the white friends.
White
man.
kids, white kids in the
They're the
woods.
fucking worst.
white kids in the
You
woods.
can't do it, bro. You
Scariest
can't put us in
thing
the
ever.
Poconos.
Can't
You
put
can't
them in
do
the
that.
woods,
You
man.
gotta keep us in a city
You gotta
where we have
give
a
us-
grid and give us places to go. You
gotta
give us
give them
freedom.
something to keep their
No.
interest, man.
or give us a simulation where we can just take
Constantly.
people prisoner.
Give me
and-
video games, something. Exactly. Yeah, that's what we need.
Let's move on to Archangel.
Hold on.
Yeah.
But like, what did you think? But like, what did you think? I guess what my question is, because like everyone wants to be talk about the show and how great it is, how deep it is. Like, what was the message that they were trying to send about this? Like overall, like what was like the whole point of that?
Oh, that lying. What is that saying? Like, in order to maintain a lie, you got to keep telling bigger lies, and that telling the truth will set you free.
Yeah, so like the technology wasn't like the story, like wasn't
Yeah, I thought
the
it
main
was-
part of the storyline. It's just like a supporting character.
But-
It's,
but-
it's interesting to cool see this futuristic world, but the storyline is basically it's a human storyline. Just like how deep are you willing to go to cover your tracks?
Yo, the one thing about the technology, you want to go?
Well, the technology was the reason why if that technology didn't exist for the memories, she wouldn't have been caught, right?
Yeah.
It would have just been done.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's almost like showing the human flaws through the. That's what every episode's about, basically.
Yo,
But I think the point is that like about this episode is, as technology gets better, now we have DNA evidence. So there's just things that make it more difficult to get away with crimes.
Yeah.
The reality is maybe if you're truthful up front, you admit what you
Sure,
did,
sure,
then
yeah.
you'll lead a much nicer life and
Yeah,
less
yeah.
people will be hurt around you.
I also thought it was like interesting.
Also, women can do anything.
that this technology kind of mirrored how we talk about like people make this argument all the time, like, oh, who cares if the government's looking at my shit if like you're not doing anything legal? Because when she goes to the insurance person, they say, hey, listen, like, I can't use anything legally against
Yep.
you, what I don't see.
Unless you're hurting yourself or someone else.
Someone
Yeah,
else.
and then like it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was actually like a bigger picture.
Oh, wow.
That was
Okay.
great
That's
call,
interesting.
great call. Like if you give the government the ability to look at your shit, they will use it when you fuck up.
When you fuck
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
on some level, I'm cool with that, dog, because I'm not out here killing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's true. That's the other part of it.
Whole other discussion because what's a fuck up, right?
Great
I don't
point.
want the government to arrest me for smoking weed or something like that. But if I'm gonna plot a terrorist attack, then yes, fucking come arrest me.
Yeah, and it's definitely scary when you say that. So, whoo, okay, cut that part out, Alex. Cut that part out.
You want to go to Archangel?
That cop is going to call you tomorrow.
So we looked at the skid marks, and it turns
And we
out.
listened to the episode. And
All right, let's go to Archangel.
Archangel. This is the most controversial one coming out of this season. I don't know if you guys read, but there was like a big anti-movement against this episode because of the portrayal of Plan B in this episode.
Get the fuck out of here.
Because apparently
Get the fuck out of
she
here.
has.
You never snuck some Plan B into a chick smoothie? What are you talking about? Come on.
And Jodie Foster directed this, so
That's
she
not
took
the
a lot of
America I want to live in. Listen. Okay, I thought you were going to go somewhere different of it.
But go.
No, I was surprised that was the controversial. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Archangel, to anybody who's listening, is the episode of the mother that implants a chip in her daughter's head, and this chip in her daughter's head allows the mother to see through a computer screen everything that the daughter sees, and it also allows her to filter what her daughter sees if it causes her intense stress. So, for example, if she sees pornography, she sees violence or anything like that, she actually doesn't see it. It becomes like pixelated and blocked out,
and the sound becomes
and the
muted.
sound is muted, etc. So she doesn't know what is bad. She's never seen these things that are bad.
And this is exhibited through every day she walks to school, there's a barking mean dog. Yeah. Every day you walk by it, you can't see the dog. And
So she's not afraid of it.
She's not afraid of it.
And on some level, we operate on fear and stress. We need that for our life. It tells us what not to do and what to do.
how you
It
learn.
might be the most integral part of, like, anxiety is actually important. It teaches us how to be human beings, what we should steer away from. So she has no effect of this dog, but because of this chip in her head and this filter system, she's kind of become an outcast, right?
Yeah.
In her school. And in a lot of ways, I think this it's a way of talking about like how protected this new generation of kids are, right? They might not be literally filtered, but their brains are filtered from information that they don't want to see.
Like parental controls on YouTube or on internet.
And even further than parental controls, just like societal acceptance, like
Right.
words that we can't say and being
Right,
triggered
right.
and all these types of things. Like we're creating kids that will be outcasts from society as they grow up, right? I think that was the
And then someday a famous comedian's going to come out with a big special and there's going to get a lot of backlash for it. Allegedly.
allegedly speaking, who knows? So I guess okay. So and everybody who's listened to this has heard the episode, so knows the episode. So we can start speaking of. What are you saying?
Yeah. So like early on, when the filters are still on, she's learning about kids from school, like about blood and violence.
Yeah, the kid's like, this is porn.
And then she kind of gets...
Well, no, that's when the filter comes off. Yeah. When the kid just tries to describe it to her, as he describes it to her, he gets blurred out and it gets whatever. Because even the description of these violent acts increases her cortisol levels, and then the stress comes up, and then it goes...
So she actually like cuts herself to see blood.
I didn't see that.
She like stabs her hand with
she takes the pencil. And
I didn't see that.
And she like... to see blood, and then she starts drawing. So she sees what the blood looks like. And then she starts drawing like these like weird dark images.
Yes.
Her mother had to take her to a therapist.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's my first problem.
Yo, by the way, I hate this fucking mom. I hate the character. I hate everything about her.
I thought, if I was a woman, I would be very like offended by this character. I felt because
I watched this with my wife, and my wife thought my wife was not feeling it.
Yeah, because it's like it portrays a lot of like very stereotypical.
Yeah, overbearing mom things.
Overbearing mom things. I would like this is. But anyway, I'm not a woman, so I'm not that offended. But anyway,
thanks for clarifying.
The first thing I didn't like about this was like it was so obvious that this filter and everything was gonna fuck this kid up.
Yeah,
like that's not a good idea, right?
Right.
And so it's like that was the first.
But the thing is, it's not that obvious.
I don't know. That's where
from her point of view. So the episode starts off. She loses her daughter for like 10 minutes and freaks out in the middle of the street. Right. So it's for her. It's protection and a emotional security blanket.
Yeah.
So we know. I'm just a logical person and knowing, but like when you see, this is something that I could see happening.
So real
parents having a technology like this. I can see this happening.
They already do have it.
Crazy parents, man.
They already do have it.
Yo, you
find my friends.
This mutes out real life. You can't like mute out real life to a kid.
Well, that's
people shelter their kids.
Yeah. Like you have parents that don't let their kids eat sugar. We all had a friend like that growing up, right?
Or you can't watch the PG-13 movie until you
couldn't watch PG-13.
Couldn't watch Above the Rim at the sleepover. Right?
Exactly.
Worse, that guy.
Pussy ass kid. And then he grew up to get hit by a hammer in a bathtub. So I think So there's another theme here, which I think was interesting, which is like the overbearing parent is actually selfish.
Yeah.
Right? Like being overbearing, you act like it's to protect your kid, but it's to protect you from the heartbreak of something happening to your kid. And I thought what was cool about the episode was your kid is going to fuck up no matter what, or your kid is going to be good no matter what. It doesn't matter how much you censor them or how much freedom that they have. And it's an interesting discussion between freedom and censorship. I always tend to lean towards extreme freedom. Let the kid do what he got to do. If he gets bitten by a dog, he gets bitten by a dog. Then he'll learn not to fuck with dogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if you overly censor, you're going to put yourself in a situation.
But you say this as
I think it's situational. I think it's situational dependent on the child. But that's
give me an example.
Like what I'm saying is there are some kids, right, that they're going to get bit by that dog. They're not going to have the same reaction when it's like, oh, I'm not going to go near this dog again. Like some kids are like going to keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
But they need to be, you know what I'm saying? Some kids, and I think you'll recognize this very early on.
Yeah.
It's like, don't fuck up with the like, oh, not doing that again. Fuck that shit.
Right.
That kid, you could probably let have those experiences, but I grew up around kids, especially, they're like, you keep pushing the envelope.
That makes a good point. Like I thrived in freedom. My brother did not so much.
Right.
But my parents gave us both a lot of freedom. He could have dealt with a little bit more of a strict system in place.
Yeah.
And that's a tricky thing about parenting, right? You want to treat both of your kids equally, but the reality is they might need different things.
Yeah. That was me and my sister. I got a little more strict. Yeah.
You needed it though.
I needed it.
Yeah,
I had to have it.
See, I grew up in a standard Middle Eastern household where me and my brother had all the freedom and my sister was on lockdown. And guess who rebelled the most?
Right.
Like
she was crazy.
Teenage years, she was
showing her ankles. Crazy, bro.
Like she would sneak out the house where I never had to
running across the street, getting hit by cars. What if it was your sister?
leaving
that's the twist.
Running out of the bar because she's ashamed.
She gets hit by a car. Your dad's not even upset. He goes, "This is what happens when you're out drinking with these white people."
But yeah, so she rebelled the most. Where like she had to sneak out, where me and my brother never even had to think about sneaking out because we would just go out.
Right. It was completely all right.
Yeah. So the point of the episode, though, is that at some point they turn it off for an extended period of time.
Hot. Yes. Right? Yes.
And for the most part, the daughter becomes a fairly well-adjusted teen. Yo, frumpy ass outfits that these kids are wearing, right? Did you notice that shit?
Yes.
Is that like a thing?
It was
like
very,
an alternate reality.
What
where...
is what's his face's wife? Nirvana's wife.
Oh yeah, Courtney Love.
Love.
That was the vibe I
Like
got.
Seattle.
Yeah.
This
I
is
feel
how
like
I think
Jodie
every
Foster
girl
was just like had a totally wrong fashion sense.
Is that like a thing that's coming back? Are they ahead of the curve?
Please no. What it was is a thing when Jodie Foster
Yeah.
directs it, and she's like, "How would I like my ideal girl to dress?
Yeah, exactly.
Like a burlap sack.
Exactly.
Is that possible? More burlap.
Yeah.
So she turns out to be like a pretty well-adjusted teen who makes like the common teenage mistakes, right? Tries drugs, sex with a boy, whatever.
Yeah. And so the mom peeps
The mom then eventually
she lies to her
she
mother.
lies to her mom. She finds a lie, and then she goes up and looks up this stuff because now she can't take it.
So all it took was this kid seemed to be, like I said, well-adjusted, doing fine.
Yeah.
Regular teenage mistakes.
One night. All it took was one night of like, Mom, I'm going to whatever's house. So she finds out she's not there.
Yeah.
And she misses curfew by like a half hour.
Yeah.
And this lady's digging this machine out. All it took was one night.
Yeah,
for
she's
her to
crazy.
just, like,
So
go
here's the
in.
question though. Let's say we have kids. Let's say you have a kid.
And you know you have the ability.
You know you don't know where your kid is, and you know you have the ability to find out where your kid is.
Here's the thing.
Would you do it?
Every parent I know, not every parent I know, most parents I know
Would
they know
cherish
exactly where their
the
kid
time
is.
without
Yeah,
their kid.
because of phones.
Yeah.
They know like they track the physical location of the phone. They're not listening. They're not watching, but they know where the kid is.
Well, you can track the
my
physical
mother.
location.
My mother hacked my email, my LOL account. My dad's put a tail on me before. Like I know all of these things happen. Like
My sister's kids are 10 and 13. I took them out one time, and I came back. I was telling my brother-in-law, like, yeah, this is where I went. He was like, I know exactly where you went.
But here's the thing:
You went to this place, and you went to that place. He just like,
Really?
I was just like,
So we agree that what the mom did was not unreasonable. It just so happened
it's the added element of
the
watching.
fucking. Yeah,
Yo,
exactly.
that's
Yes.
the thing.
Watching.
Yes.
Knowing where your kids are, I feel like
Let's say she's just at a party and they're maybe having a beer or something like that, but something innocuous, nothing big. And she sees that, she goes, okay, she's all right. It's a little wild. I'll put this thing away, and I'll let my daughter lie to me like a normal teenager.
right. But if you like, it's like, or even if you found out your kid smoked weed, or like you found out that they might have done coke, watching them do it,
It's a totally different situation. Yeah.
It's like when Ray Rice got into domestic violence.
Hearing about it is different
about
than
it, like,
watching.
when
you see it, you're like,
Shorty just get dragged out the
like,
elevator.
Oh man, that
yeah.
sucks. He's got a 2-game suspension.
Yeah.
Then you saw it,
Yeah.
and then it was like, oh, your career's over now.
Yeah.
Later,
Minimum
right?
4 games.
But it was they tried. But
She was pretty knocked out. In retrospect, she was pretty knocked out.
It's not funny. But the visual is that much more impactful.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. So that's why you shouldn't witness. If you want to know what your kids are doing, you also don't want to be so intruding that you're watching them make these mistakes.
So we're okay with the tracking the phone.
Kinda, yeah.
yo, if you turn
that's
on
happening
your Find My
anyway.
Friends
Yeah.
app,
Under
I
18
can
can do
know I can know where you're at all the time. I can be
Really?
like, oh, Andrew is on 49th Street.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm to go back to the government shit. Like, I'm actually okay with the government knowing where we are, what we talk about, knowing what we text and email. Just don't tell us that you're doing it. Let's have the illusion of freedom.
So you prefer to not have Snowden come out and say all that shit?
Yeah, exactly. I want the illusion of freedom, but if some real, because if I download a movie illegally, you're not gonna arrest me.
Right.
If some real shit pops off,
That's the
go
shit,
handle
yeah.
that. But you know what I mean? So but once we make it legal for them to do it, and we know they're doing it, then you could clip us for anything. As long as it's illegal, you could really only get involved in the big things,
Right.
Because you don't want to blow your cover.
Right.
So maybe the same thing applies to the phone with a kid. We know where you're going. I'm not going to watch a video of you doing this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So the mom's reasonable.
Reasonable. Although this generation of kids, man, with like Snapchat, they're fucking snitching on themselves already.
Oh yeah.
All you
no.
need to do is
let's be honest.
make a
get
fake
that.
account and
It's
follow your
unbelievable.
friend, right?
These kids got no fucking principle.
Because now Snapchat has a map where you can just see your Bitmoji
Yeah, it's so bad.
all
Anyway.
over the city.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on
Like-
Snapchat. So we know where people
Yeah,
physically
I can be like,
are.
yo, I wonder where my boys are at right now. I go on Snapchat. There's a map of like a cartoon of them, and they're all like hanging out together. And I'm like, yo, why is everybody hanging out without me?
But
I'm like,
what are y'all
the fuck?
doing? Nah, we're just all at
Yeah,
home
yeah.
chilling.
Yo, we're
are you
chilling.
sure?
I'm like, you
'Cause
sure?
I see you at
I see
Walmart.
one Bitmoji fucking another Bitmoji. The other one hanging out. Like, what the fuck's going on? Looks like a party. Where the fuck?
But this,
I just heard cheers.
but this episode to me was the first time, and I've only seen at this point in time. This was the second episode,
Yeah.
so I saw 2 episodes from the last drop and 2 episodes from the first 2 episodes of this one. I watched the whole season, but at the time, I'd only seen 4 episodes, and this was the first time I asked myself, like, is this getting repetitive? Because that other one that we saw, that History of Us thing, right, was different. But very similar. Like
Yes.
when you have access to too much information, how does that affect the relationship between 2 people who like love each other, and when you can see that and how it's going to destroy it?
That was
So,
the
like,
ability to remember.
everything
Was recorded thing.
It's like basically human.
yes,
It's like
yes,
human
that was
DVR.
what it
I
was.
saw that one. Yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
that's what.
I also felt like this was playing on a similar theme as
And
that,
even
yeah.
like when they would
Even-
span 2 things was the same.
And if you look at San Junipero, which is the one that everybody considers like the best one, and USS McAllister, the Star Trek one, it's the same piece of technology
It's the
basically
same-
that allows
I
them.
mean, even the memory episode was similar. To
That's
this.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're
So-
just
So they're. I feel like they're running out of concepts.
So
to-
one of the critiques that, and I thought you were going to bring this up before you talk about critiques that I read, and what was not even a critique, it was a question that I saw proposed, like, is Black Mirror getting repetitive? And to me, there's certain questions that if they're even asked,
then it means
it
yes.
already means
Yo,
yes.
there's like almost like formulas. Like each season has a certain. So like that crocodile one that we talked to before is really similar to the Shut Up and Dance. Where
Yeah.
It's just like you're just making shit worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, you're trying to cover it up.
But
and
this
you're
one's
making it
actually
worse.
better because it actually has a better twist at the end. Shut Up and Dance. But like then there's like this is the same. Like so, my friend, the day they dropped was like, "Yo, Hang the DJ is the San Junipero episode."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, so it's like, and you could do that. Oh, this is this
The blah, blah, blah.
Archangel is the entire history of you episode.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like they kind of have these every season.
and there was
How
2
common
things.
is that in TV shows that you'll have repetition of the arcs season per season?
Well, Game of
It's
Thrones
common,
is
but in a
similar.
different way.
They do it in Thrones, you're saying?
Yeah,
Like,
they have-
Yeah,
that-
you know
this
that
episode
the 8th
is
episode.
always- yeah.
Every season has 10 episodes. The 8th episode is always where someone dies. Red Wedding, 8th episode.
9th is the big battle.
9th is the big battle, and then 10th is like setting up the other shit. So, there's that kind of formula. But I would say for a specific like episode, it's different because these are so self-contained that they just know they're like, oh, we got to do something like that.
okay.
My critique is like I'm down with that, but at least explain like that if that piece of technology is in the same universe as the other episode, I'm fine with it.
So
but it seems like they're
there's-
just like reusing the concept.
Yeah.
No, hold on.
That would be cool.
That would be way better,
Yeah.
right? Because now we're
You get
accepting
another tale of the
exactly
technology of
and
there's a lot
establish
of-
that it's the same episode. Show some news clipping of something that had happened, and then boom, you're right into the
Exactly,
new episode.
exactly.
But pretending like you invented a brand new world with the same,
same thing.
gimmick
Yeah.
makes it feel a little bit done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that they're like the pizza delivery truck
Yeah.
is the same pizza that's delivering the guy in U.S. Callister. It's the same company.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
There's,
so-
there's a lot of like you said,
Oh.
the piece on in U.S. Callister
Yeah.
is the same.
Yeah. So maybe it is
See,
connected. I'm
like,
down
they're
with
doing
that.
this on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, then that
Is
then
there
I
a
like
bigger
that, yeah.
reason, or are they just like this is for the fun? Like let's just kind of
I think that-
bring things back. Even like the things like the mints. You didn't see it, but you know the one with the robot dog. We'll talk about that.
No, you guys. I only watched
Yeah,
through
we'll
4
talk
because
about
I
it
thought
for
it was
10
only
seconds.
4.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was
yeah.
trash.
But the mints that she's eating, that was one of the mints from I forget which episode, but like,
Chicken stops.
you know,
But
so
what
they're
happened? They were
doing
the
this-
same ones as
yeah,
before,
like,
right?
Like there's a lot of repetitive things that keep kind of get funneled in, little minor details.
Yeah. I mean, part of it too, I think, is this dude
I like
Charlie
that little
Brooker.
treats, like, hey, you
That's
paid
what I'm saying. It's
attention.
kinda
Well
like,
done.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like to the stands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like this dude Charlie Brooker, who's the showrunner, he writes every episode. It seems like maybe they should open it up to other writers and other concepts. It
Oh,
seems
I
like
thought
he's
each
like
was individually produced.
no, I mean no. He produces
He writes
and
all of
writes
them.
every single one, and then there's like a co-writer sometimes.
Individual directors.
Yeah, they bring in like big name directors, but
Right.
he writes every. It's always Charlie Brooker or Charlie
Yo,
Brooker.
other
and-
people will help write it,
Yeah,
right? So I forget who. I remember reading an interview. I think it was like maybe like Mike Schur or something like that. Like he who wrote one of the episodes. But like Charlie Booker's like stamping everything
Right.
before that
Yeah.
goes out.
okay, fine.
So the other thing I don't like about this episode is, and it's also another common theme, is like how quickly and unnecessarily sometimes things escalate to violence, and it's like almost unbelievable. Like the episode we just talked about with the 90-pound woman who just went on a massive killing spree.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
right.
and the shit killed her mom, right?
Then even
Or
the
not
one
tragedy.
the history of us, like he goes there, he beats the fucking shit out of that dude.
Right.
Not a history of violence type of guy, but then all of a sudden he's just so overcome with emotion because of like what he's seen through technology, that now he's ultra violent. And then in this one, right, at the very end, when the daughter discovers that she's using this iPad to watch what she's doing again, she goes up to her mom and smashes her face until she's unconscious.
Because the filter was on.
Because she was but son.
She actually, and they made sure to show that she couldn't see her mom's
She couldn't
face.
see it.
And that's why.
No, it don't matter. How would you're
because
beating it.
I'll allow that because your biology is what tells you to stop. Right? You're not intellectualizing in that moment. Your biology is like, like when you see somebody knocked on the ground unconscious, you know to not hit them again because they're already knocked out. That's why you get knocked out.
I guess, man.
Because humans have a reaction.
It's your body's
Also,
reaction.
Yeah, it's your body
this
protecting
technology-
itself.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
This technology was the downfall of their relationship, and she's literally beating her with it.
Yo, but she beat her. She hit her first before the filter
Which was,
went on.
I mean, corny or not, you could say it's corny, you could say it's great.
But she still whacks her with it first, and then the filter goes on, and she continues to beat her.
Question: why
I
did they
don't
put
know.
the chip in her head? Why not give her a bracelet? Like that seems way more
Because then they wouldn't
realistic.
get the first person perspective.
You
That's
actually
what
have
makes
to
it-
be in
yeah.
the brain. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. One thing that I thought was kind of interesting, and this was a pretty typical like teenage angst type of thing, but overbearing parents lead to a teen running away. I mean, and I'm sure we've all kind of not ran away, but like I'm leaving and like going away for a few hours because our parents are too overbearing, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So maybe there is something to the extent of you have to give people a long leash. You have to give them freedom,
Or else they'll become goths and just end
or
up.
else they'll dress like shit.
Yeah.
The second that the filters came off, her friend at school, her future boyfriend, was like, "This is violent. This is murder. He went through like
Porn.
the 8 worst YouTube videos that you can find, and imagine just getting all that at once. For the first time.
But that's like
And,
the back of the school
tracing
bus.
it out.
That's like the back of the school bus.
That's
Like,
true, but
that
it's
guy-
over
because
time.
That's how you learned everything.
Over
That got
time.
spaced out.
true.
You know, I'm in
over-
6th grade. I'm hearing the 8th graders talk about like sex or stuff that they haven't even done yet. But that's how I'm absorbing my sex ed.
Yeah, but you didn't get it
but
in
it's
one
spaced
moment.
out.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
got it in a
Like-
half hour.
Oh, like,
Fucking
like-
Brendan
got
Fraser.
got the clip.
What was that movie when he was
fuck.
in the
Encino
bunker?
Man?
Yeah, he comes out of the bomb
Nah,
shelter.
I don't know. I don't know if it was a scene. It was a bomb shelter one.
Yeah,
where he was
yeah, yeah. What
dancing
is it
fucking
called, man?
Swing with
Heather Graham or
chick from
something?
Clueless,
Yeah, that's right.
Alicia Silverstone. Yeah,
Fuck.
shout out to Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we go on to Hang the DJ?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
episode 4.
Yes.
Right?
What did I'm curious. What did you like it or not like it?
I thought it was interesting. I thought it played on the same theme of, hey, we're a simulation and this could be a simulation.
Right.
And it played on the same theme of you feeling real in that moment. You know, this version of you felt it was real. You felt your mortality, but in reality, it wasn't. Right? This is the exact same thing that happened in the USS Callister.
Yeah.
You know, and they figured it out within the simulation. Hey, we're in a sim right now, and eventually you found your match, etc. I liked a lot of the themes that it played on. The idea of like you just
they started to run away, and then the system came apart.
but they knew that they were in a system, and they knew that they had to do something to break it.
Here's the thing.
Right?
Did you notice that that's how the system matches out of 1,000 simulations? What was it, 99.8 or 98.4? 900, 800, 900.
Yeah.
Son, just give me round
980.
numbers. Round numbers.
I just want to clarify.
ran
This
off
guy is a
together.
math
Yo.
doctorate. What, master or doctorate?
Master.
Wow.
Yeah.
Say it again?
Yeah.
Like 985 of them ran off. In 1,000 simulations, 985 whatever ran off, and that's how they get that percentage.
Right.
Yeah,
So
then-
did you
That
notice
shit was super predictable to me.
What? Oh yes, at one point it got predictable, but at one point,
obvious that this was
at
that's where
one
we're going.
point. When she started asking about the skipping rocks, why they only skip 4 times,
Yeah.
I was just like,
Oh, I didn't put that together. I mean,
I was like, oh,
I
shit,
assumed
this
that
is
they
a
were
sim.
in some sort of sim because how can you be there for 5 years without working? Do you pay to be in this thing? What society is it
yes,
like?
that was. Wait, to be honest, you'd be surprised how many people. I didn't think about that until later on. Like it wasn't. I wasn't like, wait, why aren't these people working? Like, how can they just go live?
Yeah.
Where do they live when they're not living with someone?
And they mentioned that they're like, "What's on the outside?" And then Shorty said something. Do you remember what you were doing before this?
That's at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
But I guess the point is like it resonated with me after being a hoe on a dating scene for a while. Like you have all this meaningless sex, you do nothing, and it just like you're kind of miserable, and you're like, but you're going through this, you're going through these miserable relationships and all this kind of stuff, so that you can eventually find out what it is you do want. And
Just like what happened to you.
that's what I'm saying.
No, but did you settle down?
Well, no, not yet. I'm still
You're talking about like it's the past, like the lesson. Is
no. I'm still
used was.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no, I mean-
I'm doing my dick drops. Like when Shorty was talking about, she was just getting pounded by different dudes.
Oh yeah. And then they pull out and realize that the dude's getting blown, and he's like just talking to her.
Oh,
He's
that was
like,
great.
telling her
Yeah.
story, No, I was with that whole theme. Like, I liked this episode until the end, and it just became another simulation thing. It's like, we've already seen this. If I want to see this, I'll watch Truman Show. You know,
I
or
thought
I'll
it
watch
was-
that other
But
fucking
you know
episode.
what? Now we're getting too macro. Like, did you think about this technology? Do you want to know that? Do you want every girl you meet that you have a connection with? Do you want to know the expiration date on that?
No, but it would make it.
You do want to know that.
Well, I mean, I pretty much know.
I'll be
Marco's got it.
I don't need no fucking clock.
the expiration date is if she eats a burrito in front of me.
But like that's a.
What I would
Could you imagine seeing 5 years?
oh son, forget it. It's frightening.
No,
How
but
long
I thought they were going to
was that?
take it. That's where I thought this episode was going to
4
go.
years.
Yeah.
Could you imagine knowing like, oh wow, this is gonna end in like that's
What a waste.
fucked up.
Yeah, it's frightening. It's a waste.
Right?
Yeah. But what I would love is an automatic breakup. I don't don't tell me when it's going to happen, but like when it's time to happen, you do the breaking up and then she can't be upset at me.
That's what would have happened had they never found out. Like it would they have security there. Like it would have said, time's up.
I love that. I would love a time's up for every relationship. I don't like being time's up.
So you would like this technology, but without knowing up front what the
Exactly.
expiration
You
date
get a
is.
text, I get a text, time's up, and it's like, oh, all right, fam.
Yeah.
Good luck. We did it.
We did it.
That's it. And I don't feel bad. And sometimes it could be times up 12 hours. Sometimes it could be times up 24.
Right.
I like what they did, which is not knowing.
Right.
That's my ideal situation. But when it's times up, it's times up. Nothing. we
Now
can
here's
do
the
about
thing.
it.
They
There
tell
is a time's up.
They tell you
But I have to say it.
No, you don't.
What? You just don't respond?
48 hours, no text, and then you text. They know it's over.
So wait, you wait 48.
Yeah, like you start to wait 3 days between texts before and one word responses.
Okay, so you wait 48, and then what do you do?
Wait 48.
I
That's a good
answer back
sound.
to their text with a one word response.
What? One word. Bye.
Word.
Word.
I threw that one out there a lot.
And then they just
I-
know after
And then
that.
after that, they kind of know.
Say what?
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, she tells me about the day. You're like, oh, that's cool.
You hit it with a that's cool or just cool?
Cool.
Oof, that is
Sometimes
sad.
with a period at the end.
You're a
How about a
jerk.
school?
What a jerk you are.
you are the worst. Like really, like that's
Yo.
so much work. Just
Might as
say,
well ghost him at that
Yo,
point.
listen, this isn't working out. Stop texting me.
Wouldn't you rather that? That's better to have that shit in there.
No, man, they just think I'm
If
busy.
I received a cool text, I would much rather receive a "Don't text me again" text. You fucking
Or just replace the C with that F and just say fool.
Haney is tight, son. Don't be in front of his car.
I mean, it's just a two-way street. It's,
Yeah, girls do that
No, girls
too.
do it too.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Girls ghost.
When I'm yelling at you, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at you.
The system.
Type.
yeah.
Son, it's hard to
tight.
hurt someone's feelings directly, B. It's
system.
really
yelling at-
hard.
Yo, Jack, have you ever done that?
He's yelling. No, but he's.
No, because you're a
You've never
fucking decent human
you
being.
never slow played like.
I don't live that way 48 life, but
That what?
that way
way
48. That's what I'm calling it.
Oh,
It's
wait,
not-
48.
Listen, it's not an exact number.
Yo,
It's
I'm
an
not a
exact
fan of this
number.
method.
It's not an exact number, but the text become longer and longer and longer.
Yeah, and then everybody knows what time it is. I get it.
That's the button.
I can't wait till people in comments are like,
That's I'm giving you. I mean, it's not an actual button, but that's basically what it is.
You let it happen organically. I just think it'd be better for everybody involved to just have this time, and the system would know when I wasn't interested anymore, or they weren't interested anymore, and then we would just go off of that. They would because I know I'm too much of a coward a lot of times to break it up, right? And I'll be in something way longer because I'm too much of a coward to do it. I would love if the system just sensed my cowardice and it was like, "Hey, time's up." Boom.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that not be ideal? Maybe we should develop an app for that.
no,
How
it's
do
just
we-
a service, a breakup
A
service.
breakup service.
Yeah.
A guy will break up with this girl in like the best
Like the opposite of hitch.
ditch.
Ditch.
Yo, cut this part out.
Alex, you know what clip to post. Take a note. Son, we just made millions. Let's go.
It's great.
Ditch.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a breakup service. That's what you want. You want a breakup
A
service.
breakup, sir. I think it could be good for everybody involved. It saves everybody time. It saves the anguish of being with someone who doesn't like you. That's horrible. Right?
Yeah. I mean, but you kind of know. You kind of got to be an idiot not to
Yeah, but
what's weird is
people
that
lie to themselves all the time.
That's true.
in the show they told you, they would tell the person in advance, you're gonna meet the one now. The next relationship is the one.
Yeah.
So every relationship you get into, you know is not the one until they say it's the one.
That's true.
Which is weird. So even if you didn't know the time, you would know in the back of your mind, you'd be like, I don't know, this is definitely going to end at some point.
Yeah.
And you're just hoping if you like the person that doesn't end that night, or if you don't like the person, you're hoping it ends.
Yeah.
I thought it was that.
Exactly.
It's weird.
I thought it was that the one was someone from any one of those dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they set up. So it could be any one of those participants of the past.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I just know that they said she could have closure with anyone.
She could have closure with anyone.
I thought it was explained that it was going to be one of the familiar people.
No, it was closure with anybody that you've been. It was closure. You have one more time to
She's
talk.
like, you have 24 hours to go. You have one.
Oh, okay.
So, and here's the interesting thing. Did you notice that they're both about to meet their match?
Yeah, that was on purpose.
Yes.
So my question is, do
Were
you
they the
think
match?
they would be their match?
Oh.
Or do they need to break away from the system in order
I think
to
it's the latter.
prove?
Yeah,
That's what it is.
That's the simulation.
Okay, so both meeting their match gave them the urgency.
Correct.
Got you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I like this episode. In retrospect, I really like this episode.
This was my favorite episode.
It got
It's the one
more-
San Junipero of.
It's the one I enjoyed.
There were dips. I'm not going to deny there were dips, but I liked the world. It was different.
It had a sense of humor about.
Yeah, it was
all the
funny
sex
shit.
stuff. Yeah.
I thought the actors
dialogue
were great.
was good.
I was
Yeah.
fully. I was rooting for them. I wanted Frank.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I love the actress. She reminded me.
she
of
was
someone.
great.
Yeah. He's good too. He's the guy from Peaky Blinders.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
I like the casting for this because
Yeah.
they don't
Yo,
go
they can
huge.
act.
No,
Yo,
they get
what?
names though.
5 patushes.
Yo, so at the beginning of the show, Black Mirror, like not this episode, but like the series.
Yeah.
So like the first time I ever saw the guy from Get Out.
Yep. I saw that episode.
The first time I
Beast.
ever saw.
He was a beast
One of the
in that.
earliest times I saw. His name is Domhnall Gleeson, right? Who's in Star Wars?
Yeah, General
who's
Hux.
in
Yep.
Dunkirk. Who's in?
He's in everything
the
now.
Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Probably his best role.
Oh, the redhead? Yeah.
First
He's
time.
in a great
I wouldn't put it
movie.
past.
He's in an early.
Romantic comedy that he's in. Have you seen
Oh
that
my
one?
God, about the dad.
About time.
Oh my God, that is one of the best romantic comedy. We should review
It's
that.
not even
Are you talking
a
about
romantic
About Time?
comedy. That shit
Oh
is.
my
That shit is
God.
amazing.
Oh,
Yo, it's him and Rachel McAdams.
About Time.
Oh, it's
About
called
Time.
About Time. He is phenomenal. He's like Hugh Grant. He's like a new young Hugh Grant, that kind of
Same writer.
bumbling,
Yo, Margot
self-deprecating.
Robbie's in it. I can't believe you've never seen this
Son,
I
movie.
can't believe you didn't say anything to me about it.
No, we talked about
This
it.
is, I would say, top 3 rom-com.
Oof.
Top 3.
Here's the thing, it's not even a rom-com. It's a real movie.
Yeah.
It's fucking touching as
There's
fuck.
like time travel
beautiful.
involved.
There's a father-son dynamic.
Everybody listening right now,
About
watch
Time?
watch About
About
Time.
Time.
We're going to
When did it
do
come out?
an About
Years ago.
Time review.
4 years ago.
All right.
Three,
Matter of
4
fact, we
years
should all watch a few. We should watch like
Couple rom-coms.
3 rom-coms
Yeah.
and do a rom-com.
We each pick a rom-com.
Some for Valentine's Day. The Valentine's
Yeah, yeah,
episode
yeah.
of
That's the one right
Westerbros is
there.
going to be Valentine.
this guy.
Hey, you know how we do it. I kind of do this every once in a while.
Westerbros up in this.
Yeah.
We'll do
All
that.
So hang the DJ.
Best episode of the season, in my opinion. It was the most. It was the one I
would agree.
enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
As I watched it, I was invested the whole episode. Didn't look at my phone this whole episode.
Bang.
I was in on it. I was in on it.
Yeah,
Liked it?
loved it.
Yeah, but like it's also like saying like who's the best player on the Nets. That's how it felt. That's
I
how it
wouldn't
felt.
say the Nets, but listen, in a weak season, this shouldn't be the best episode. That's how I know I'm disappointed in the season.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
should be the second or third best episode in the season.
Yeah.
But it's the one that's the lead
was
scorer.
solid.
It's
Last season-
It's Chris Levert.
Last season, this wouldn't have been the best. This season it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't watch episode 5 and 6 because I thought someone told me it's only 4 episode seasons. So I
didn't-
stopped after 4.
I still don't. That still doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Hold on. So I know.
Next on Netflix, like it comes up. It's
Yeah.
right there, like next episode.
I thought it was recommending a different series.
It won't do that to you.
You just tapped out and were like, I'm done with this.
First of all,
No, because the technology exists for a reason. It goes, you click that button, and
Yeah.
then you click the skip intro button.
Yeah.
That's what Netflix wants you
No.
to do.
This is how technology affects
I
us,
had
guys.
shit to do. I had to go to a show. I watched this real quick before the show. The second it
So
was
you
over,
were- you were
I didn't
bored.
even look at the little box on the send that says starts in 5 seconds. In my mind, it was only 4 episodes from the jump. Because I watch Luther. I watch these BBC shows. They're 3-4 episodes.
By the way, Luther, Stringer Bell, low key good.
Oh, yeah.
Low key
Idris,
really
yo.
good.
One of my favorite series
Really good.
ever.
Yo, Idris is a beast.
Ever. If they have another season of that comes out, we have to do it. Fantastic.
I feel like
So
they
episode
announced it.
5, you guys go.
I feel like they announced a new season.
But nothing
no?
dropped.
What was
don't know.
episode 5?
Episode 5 was the robot dog, the black and white
Yeah,
one.
you got to take this
All
one.
right, what do you want to? How do you want to start this
Did
off?
you like it or not?
It was fucking awful.
Okay, I'm agree with you.
It was terrible.
It's the shortest episode. It's like 40 minutes, right? Something like that.
Felt like 3 hours.
I agree. I did not like this episode. What did you think of the very last scene where you find out? So this is a dumb suicide mission that starts the episode, right? You caught that?
Yeah. What were they even
Can you
looking
break
for?
down more or less what happened to me? Yeah.
They're in this. They go to this abandoned.
It's like a post-apocalyptic world.
Dystopian, I prefer to use.
Okay, right? The show starts out, this lady right here.
Yo, you can tell that they're friends, you know what I mean? Because he used a multi-syllabic word to describe it. It's not like he used some dummy word, right? Yeah. Post-apocalyptic. He got that whole shit out, and Marco was like, dystopian. There's a difference between post-apocalyptic and dystopian.
All right, let's go.
Starts out with her and two other guys. They're trying to break into a warehouse, and they're saying they know why. They talk about why they're doing it. They're doing it to. What does one of them say? No matter why are we doing this, he's gonna die in a few days anyway. Right. So they're going to get something for someone that's dying.
Right.
And the other guy's like, this isn't gonna save him. She's like, it'll help ease the pain.
Right.
My mind went to like they're going to steal pain meds.
I mean, put a bullet in them.
So they break in. One of them gets killed by a robot dog. This dog is this big.
It's this big.
Right? And it's got a gun on him. Right? On its arm.
It's got one paw. It's got a fucking. It's got. Yo, this is how the fucking thing shoots.
Fucking saute.
Yo, it's got a 40 caliber gun.
Yeah, his form though, he was like a pointer dog. He was like,
no, that's exactly. The paw comes up like this, and it shoots,
and it blows
right?
the guy's heads off.
And it blows people's heads off.
It's a little extra.
Anyway,
you lost me already.
So the whole show is it kills the two guys, and then she's running from the dog this whole episode.
Right.
The whole episode.
The whole fucking episode.
Yeah.
Right? And she ends up in a tree. And the dog, it doesn't have
it
like
powers down. Like it has to shut off to recharge. It self-recharges. It has to shut off to do it.
Can't climb the tree. This fucking dog, they made it.
Oh, because it lost an
It's
arm.
in the middle of the woods too, and it didn't give it the power to whatever. So,
I'll say this. So it goes through. She eventually finds
this abandoned house after she charges down.
She kills the dog by throwing paint on its screen, which was really smart, right? Yeah. And then shoots the dog. The dog explodes, shrapnel goes in her face, so she's gonna die.
No, that's not what it was.
All right.
The dog explodes and it releases something after it's killed. Right? It hits her. It was a tracking device.
Oh.
So she's got this thing on her face, and all of a sudden it's blinking.
So she knows that all the other dogs.
But you don't know this at first. Like you just hit shrapnel. There's like little pieces of shards.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that.
And then one of the pieces is blinking. Right.
I didn't catch that.
And then all of a sudden they show all these fucking dogs coming.
That's why. Okay, that's
why they showed all those dogs.
Okay.
All of a sudden now,
so then what happens?
So now she realizes
she kills herself,
and she fucking
before the dogs can kill her. She does. Okay.
Right. So the last scene after she kills herself, the last
could have
scene
saved herself a lot of time by killing
panning
herself
around
in the
this
beginning.
dystopian world, right? And it goes back into the warehouses that it all started, where they were trying to break into, and you see what they were trying to break into, what they were trying to get. It's a box of teddy bears.
Yeah.
So the person that's dying that you hear about at the beginning of the episode is actually a child.
Yeah.
And now I'm curious as to, do you think that this makes it like, oh my God, they were doing this to like help ease a dying kid, or it's a fucking they did all this for a teddy bear? There's two ways to look at it, in my opinion, because I kind of went back and forth with me. How do you see it?
What?
It's
one way to see it. They went and did it for a teddy bear. I don't understand.
But what world?
No, but the teddy bears for the kid.
Are you
they do it for the.
Do you feel like they're more dumb for doing it, or do you feel like
I think
are you more sympathetic for them doing it?
I think more dumb.
You think they're more dumb?
Yeah,
that's fine.
I mean, dude, they're clearly not in a world where it's like sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
Like we're past getting teddy bears for kids.
Right.
We're trying to save the human race. It seems like.
Right.
Well, I mean, like it's a ridiculous concept.
Right. I agree, because the whole time you're watching this, she was like, this is dumb.
And it's a chase scene between her and this fucking dog the whole time.
The best is the dog is literally only like, it's like smaller than this thing. So
It
like
is not a big dog.
Why don't you kick the dog?
It's smaller than that
because it's got a gun on it.
Get near, he's gonna shoot you.
You know, and I guess from what's the bigger picture message? I don't know. They got little fucking dogs that look like that. Like these companies like General Dynamics and stuff like that have like these little.
Obviously, this
it
dog
looks like that.
Obviously, this dog was made for like war. It's made for training. Like we created this dog.
Yeah.
I don't want to even get into that road. Fuck Boston Dynamics.
Yeah.
Shout out to them for killing us all in 30 years.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
That's true.
So that's what this is.
I'm not that bad, but
So wait a minute. So that's what this is. They're like, oh, these little dogs that run around the house that you buy for your kids are fun
it's
now.
a Terminator. Then.
But eventually, it's gonna be...
I think they're made for war.
They were made for
have a
war,
gun
but
on
now
them.
they have their own. But now they've turned on humanity.
like they're being made to like we're using them in like war.
currently.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about in the show.
No, I'm saying what is the
They weren't like these cute things that got smart. Like they were designed for war,
Yeah.
but now either they're being controlled by the wrong people,
Right.
or they've controlled themselves.
All right. I mean, look,
It sucked.
I'm not going to watch that episode.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Okay. What about the last one?
I did not see it.
Black Museum,
Black Museum, yeah.
motherfuckers slacking.
Did you see it?
Yeah, last one. Black Museum, I liked a lot.
Yo,
how bad
I
are we?
wouldn't say I liked it, but I would say
Well,
that
and the fact that it had
might have been a meat
and
thing.
the fact that it had like multiple stories within the episode.
Yeah, it was interesting. You saying really? You didn't even watch the fucking thing.
I'm surprised because I just wasn't like the one that like stood out from people online.
No, it was. I was actually looking at the
It
ratings.
didn't
just
stand
now.
out. How would it not have stood out?
Just people talking about it.
Yo, if you've seen the
It's the
episode,
most graphic. It's the most like violent.
that bothered me.
It's the most like excessively violent.
So
Yeah, Marco. By the way, I want Marco to recap everything.
Yo, okay.
I want to go to the movie and just be like, Marco, tell me what happened, man.
This twist was super predictable as well.
What
That was
happened in
only
the
thing.
episode? What was the...
But here's the thing. Before we explain this, I think the idea of this episode was supposed to be that this is like the guy who's
Behind a lot of this technology.
behind a lot of this technology, not just in this episode, but in the show.
in the show.
And so that like even this teddy bear, like I feel like there's a lot of.
Is that the teddy bear?
I feel like there's a lot of things that call
Yo,
back to
there
other
were
episodes.
other things. They had the
They call back a lot.
lollipop.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. So
in
this
the
guy.
petri dish from the thing.
shit.
Yeah. And if you want to talk about
Black,
connected,
so she goes to this place called the Black Museum.
almost a little too self-aware, but cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta watch this episode.
Well,
Yeah, spoil it for me right now. But
Go ahead, Margo. Sing.
Okay, go.
So she goes, she meets this guy who owns the museum. He's a super creepy guy now, whatever. He starts taking her through the museum and going through these like various things. The first thing that she goes to, I don't remember I know the story, but what did she show?
Was it the pain? Was it the pain becomes
doctor.
pleasure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was this thing where what is the problem that most doctors have when they're trying to diagnose someone? How do you translate what a patient is telling you? I recently have become a hypochondriac, so I'm often at the doctors a lot, trying to explain to the doctor my symptoms that really usually amount to nothing, even though I have a lot of WebMD backup with me, but they don't seem to take it seriously. So, what's that?
Go. You keep describing the episode, and then I'm going to tell you how they stole this entire thing from Carl Pilkington.
Okay, so they designed
this is what you were talking
designed
about.
this thing with this doctor who's like not a particularly good doctor. His success rate's actually bad, and this guy who runs the museum is running this new technology and comes up to him and proposes like, "Hey, you'll be able to feel what they're feeling. You'll get their senses, and then you'll be able to diagnose them better because you'll already be experienced in the symptoms." So, long story short, he goes through this. One person dies while he's going through the symptoms. Like he's like taking so long to diagnose it that they die, and he like experiences death. But he wakes up in like, I can't remember, it was like 45 days or 45 hours. But like he comes back, like he doesn't actually die, but he experiences the whole death experience, right? Through this technology. But when he comes back on the other side of it, he's fucked up. He now looks at it as a rush, right? It's like
a ride.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Right? It's like sex
He
for
gets
him.
off to it. Yeah.
He gets off to it, right? So now he's like taking extra time with patients, like instead of diagnosing right
Hoping
away.
they die?
Then it goes on further where he's like mutilating people so that he experiences the
For his
feeling,
own pleasure.
For his own pleasure.
So some serial killer shit.
Some serial killer shit. Then he gets to the point, well, he tries mutilating himself, but it's not enough. So he has to mutilate other people.
I mean, real quick, this is the
and
argument.
they're showing him yanking his own teeth out.
Right, but
like-
this is the argument for like serial killers, right? Is they've experienced some crazy trauma as a child, and that trauma has forced them to be numb to the world, and the only way that they can feel something is through this extreme acts of aggression. It starts out with animals, twisting an animal's head off or
It's like
whatever.
Mindhunter shit.
Is that exactly? They spoke in mind. And then you kill someone, and now just killing them isn't enough. Now you got to mutilate. Now you got to rape them, all that kind of shit. So this is the playoff of that, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And then I forget how it finishes off, but he essentially,
I was looking up the plot because
anyway, that kind of comes and goes. It's obviously like they need to shelf that technology. It can't work. It obviously all blows back on him. This doctor has now gone crazy and is killing people. And I forget exactly how he dies in it.
So real quick, there's a show that for Ricky Gervais and Stephen Marchant, and then their producer is also on the is also on their podcast, and his name is Carl Pilkington.
They animated too, right?
And they animated. Some people do a cartoon of it. Now, Carl Pilkington is my favorite comedian. He doesn't even do comedy, but he does this series where Stephen Marchant and Ricky Gervais sent him around the world to like amazing places, and he just has to experience the environment. And it's called An Idiot Abroad, and he's so fucking funny. But he was just on a podcast talking about these random topics, and this is one of the things that he talked about on the podcast. This is years ago. This is way before this has ever been out.
I don't know if I feel well. Doesn't make any sense at all.
Hold on. Okay, here we are.
Now, sometimes I don't know if I feel well.
It doesn't make any sense at all either. What do you mean sometimes you don't know whether you feel well?
Because I've been in my body for years.
Here he goes again.
Go on, yeah.
Here he goes again.
Now,
the two minds.
If there was some sort of kit that the doctor said, "How are you feeling, Mr. Pilkington?" I go, "I think I feel all right." And they go, "Well, do you?" I don't know. And they go, "Well, step into the machine, right? Get into the machine, and if he could somehow transfer my feeling into his body so I could feel how he feels, and then he can feel how I feel, and he'll go, 'Oh, you're not well at all. Your heartbeat's irregular for a start.'"
You are a mental case. I don't know what this is.
Because why can't the doctor make that observation like a doctor does? Why can't the doctor, using his knowledge, observe the person with the sweat on?
This is like a scene from Ghost. This is like Patrick Swayze.
Listen, it's hard to explain an ache.
So he'd have to feel the ache, and then he could make an assumption from it.
Thank you.
So he would presumably go through training, going in the machine, and they'd bring in various sick people, and he would experience and feel every single ailment.
Great.
Hey, listen, let's not dismiss this idea out of hand, of course, because you'll famously remember, Rick, that Carl had the idea of a man who can grow backwards. So he's born as an old man, and when he dies as a young baby. I think we're all looking forward to the new Brad Pitt film. That is exactly that plot.
That was strange.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? And he did there's like another couple episodes that Black Mirror has ripped off from this guy.
Really?
So this guy's just like a
fucking
savant.
Watch An Idiot Abroad.
Yeah, but so you don't think, because I've seen some of the episodes.
Is that a movie or a show? Or
it's a Netflix show. You can watch it, and they just send him to like the seven wonders of the world for the first episode, and he doesn't want to go, but they're forcing him to go. And he's just a curmudgeon-y.
He's just like
British
one of these
dude.
weird, like eccentric.
Not even he's just like kind of curmudgeon, but his brain works so brilliant. He's not a brilliant guy, but his brain works comedically so well. Like
that was not brilliant, but that's smart. Like to be like, I like just to come up with that concept and just but like not even as a show. Like this is what he really wants in real life.
But you don't think he's playing it up? Like you think he's actually that?
He's so committed to it that even if he is, I believe it. And I have
in his voice,
high detector.
And now watching him and just hearing his voice, like
for what idiots?
I think he really believes what he was saying, like that. He truly
100% believes it.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like I have a radar for that kind of, I'm in comedy, so I have a radar when somebody is pretending
on a character,
to, put on a character, or whatever.
Trying to be
truly
Kaufman.
don't believe he is.
You gotta go.
Yeah, I got this game tonight. I gotta leave pretty soon.
All right.
I'm also I got low blood sugar. I'm about to pass out.
Yo, I'm so hungry.
Basically, I just remember the guy. I looked it up. He goes into a vegetative state.
Yeah,
they
he
put him
goes
in a
into
vegetative state
where he's constantly experiencing this, so he's got like a smile on his face.
Oh, so he loves it.
So then she goes to the next thing. It's this monkey right here that you guys see, right? Yeah. And basically, long story short, this guy is married to this woman. She dies. She's in a coma.
Yeah.
She didn't die. I'm sorry. She's in a coma. And they say, hey, what we can do is we could transfer her consciousness into your head.
Which is a similar kind of thing to White Christmas. I felt like it was a callback to that. Right. With the same, how she all of a sudden is in the house, like controlling the house. Same kind of thing.
Wow. Sell it to me like I'm a Hollywood executive. Sell me the film.
So what I was thinking is, it starts off, and the people, you're seeing into their lives from like the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
Radio's on. You know, they're going about the day. They're saying, "Oh, what we're doing tonight?" And you're thinking, "Oh, they've got a nice life." He walks out the house, gets hit by a bus. Oh. So Clive Warren's dead.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is she's devastated. Doctor says, "Your husband's dead." She's like, "Oh, God." What happens then is, he says, "But listen, what we can do now, we can take the brain out."
Right.
The brain can run on half of it. You've actually got a full brain.
Some of
on
us
half.
have.
So
this is the exact
this was in
concept.
my mind still.
Well, half your mind, yeah.
So
It's the
I
same
said,
episode,
what happens is Morgan Freeman says, "Been working on this. You can run your life on half a brain."
Right.
She's sort of a bit like, "What are you telling me this for now? My husband's just died like 20 minutes ago."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, but if we're going to do this, we've got to act quick." She's like, "Do what?" He says, "Look, you know, what we're going to do here, we can either turn the switch off, or we can put his head in your head."
But why would you...
So what he
Put
does,
his
so what
brain-
they do
yeah.
then, they're going to take...
So that's what they do, essentially, right?
That's
so
crazy.
now this guy's got it, and he feels guilty because he wants his wife to
To
experience,
continue living, yeah.
and they have a child together,
Yeah.
and so obviously, as we were talking about before, with like spaces and relationships, there's not a lot of space in this relationship. So, right, that was a good tie-in. We didn't tie that in. You'll fuck that up. But you didn't see the episode. So I don't feel bad.
You guys would like this one.
Yeah, you guys would. This is actually better now that
This
I'm
sounds like
thinking
it was
about
the
it.
best one of the season.
It's cool.
Yeah, it
That's
probably
brilliant.
was.
You can never get away.
Right? So then he's still is like crazy, like it's driving him crazy, but he feels so guilty because he wants her to experience their child and have all those good things. So he refuses to just cut it off because he could if he wanted to.
He can turn it off.
He could turn it off. So they develop
Yeah.
a system, and it's it ends up turning to like a divorce. Like on weekends, he turns it on, and she can see
This is
him.
exactly what we were. Yeah. This is,
see the kid, and they do that, and then all of a sudden he starts dating someone else.
Yikes.
Right? And then so now the person he's dating knows about it, and everyone knows about it, and it's awkward, and they have awkward exchanges, as two exes would in a situation like that. So it's very similar. So that was actually a very cool concept. I never saw White Christmas. It was like an hour and 20.
yeah, it was a little longer.
Yeah. So anyway, what they end up doing is he gets so fed up, he ends up transferring the consciousness into this monkey.
Okay.
So the kid can have the monkey. And so the mom's consciousness is now inside the monkey so that she can be with the kid all the time. But he's no longer in the husband's head, and they're out of their relationship. And so now she's just with the monkey. But then what happens with kids and toys, they eventually get tired of it. Right? So the monkey gets kind of tossed aside. So that's how that goes wrong. And she's just trapped in the monkey. Then the third story, just very quickly, is
Which has to do with this story.
which actually has to do with this is there's this guy, he's on death row, and they kill him, and what they do is they're able to trap his consciousness as well in an electric chair, and he puts him in, this guy puts him in the Black Museum, and it allows people to come and pull the lever and kill someone in an electric chair over
an
and over
attraction,
again.
yeah.
And this guy is always experiencing it. And he developed this thing where it's 10 seconds is the max amount of pain, but it's also not going to destroy the guy's consciousness, so he'll be fine.
But
Then
also
what-
people can take them with them.
it
Yeah.
creates a copy in a keychain, and you just see the guy's face, and he's always experiencing that pain. This now copy of his consciousness, right? So anyway, what we come to find out is, and this guy is now there, and he's just he's sitting in the chair, and he's all beaten. We come to find out is that this is her father, right?
That's in the chair.
That's in the chair, and she
she
basically
reveals-
poisons this guy, reveals the whole plot to him.
She
how this is
put
vengeance.
poison through the AC, so he's been slowly poisoned.
And then he basically dies, and she sets the place on fire. Oh no, he doesn't die. She gets him in the chair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she gets him in the chair and then traps him in the keychain,
Yeah.
and then
Oh.
burns the place down, and then keeps the keychain of this guy constantly getting fucking fried.
Great app.
Even though we
Great
spoiled it for you, you gotta
episode,
check it out.
actually.
Yeah.
I'll give him a pass on this.
That's
one.
why I didn't want to.
This was actually a good episode. I mean, you should have came.
It's
prepared.
cool that it's almost like a bookend. It's almost like a bookend to Black. If this were to be the last episode of Black Mirror ever, it's kind of a cool last episode.
Yeah, way to finish
It's
it.
kind of like this guy who's curating all this fucked up shit, you know?
Yeah.
So they've done 19 episodes of Black Mirror. You saw a headline is Black Mirror getting repetitive? How much more can they do? How much crazy storylines can one man do?
Can't do it.
So is it wrong to have multiple? Like, if you come up with these dope storylines, to kind of just come up with different variations of it, like, and how many can you do before you're sick of it?
Yo, because like I said, I'm already sick of it, and I've only seen 8 fucking episodes.
Right.
And I like this episode probably more than most.
So
I like that. Remember, like that episode we saw that you guys made me watch.
Yeah, entire history.
Yeah.
In a vacuum, when I saw that, I liked it more than I do now today.
Interesting.
Well, at the time, it seemed like you didn't want to acknowledge how much you liked it when we were there.
You're fucking Hayne.
Yo, it was cool.
Hayne, we made Mark go watch an episode.
We were like,
it was all right.
Yeah. You could tell he was like a little scared.
He was all right.
He was like a little scared of it, so he was like, yeah.
I knew he liked it.
But
he gave us a one.
When Marco watches something, he's like a kid, right? And his eyes are like glued on the TV.
I have like ADD, like I just have to get my concentration. But when you have it, I get hyper focused.
Yeah, that's what ADD is, right? Yeah.
He gave us that one word response. He was like, cool.
It was cool.
All right, dude.
48 hours later, he texted.
Yeah.
She was all right.
Yo, but I like it. Man, fuck you all. But I like it less.
So here's the thing. That's why I think for me, I'm like, I don't really like this season as much, is because the first time you experience something is always like kind of usually the best time you experience it.
Oh, yeah.
So I've had these experiences on the earlier episodes.
Right. Same.
And now
They didn't change the
it's not as like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, but for me, and maybe it's my attention span, it only took about 3 episodes, and I was like, okay, I get it.
Right.
I think
You know
there's
what
a
I'm
lot
saying?
more.
Maybe you need like a longer story arc. You need things
it's
happening.
okay.
Right.
Technology is bad.
Yeah.
We're also bad when we use technology. Here's the bad things that happen.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing.
But they're different stories, man.
Yo,
You're
man,
like
fuck
that's
outta
like you
here,
can't
bro.
just generalize it like that.
I guess, but it's different. Like when you get attached to characters, you can follow them wherever the fuck they go.
Correct.
But right now, you're getting attached to a concept, and you've
And the
seen
concept's
the
repetitive.
concept exactly. So, yeah, I get it. It makes you don't get attached to concepts the way you get attached to people.
Right.
Anyway,
You think
I thought,
so
yeah.
you think they did that on purpose? They stole those ideas and put them in the same episode on purpose on that dude Pinkerton?
Pilkerton. I mean,
Pilkerton.
if they
Dick move.
did, that would be the super dick move. Now, there's a question. Maybe he, under some alias, gets credit for this as a writer.
Yeah, or maybe
That's bad.
It's so close.
That's bad.
And he's English. Isn't it an English dude that does this show?
Yeah.
In the same episode?
It's wild. It's wild. So he must have some sort of credit, or he's a producer credit or some kind of shit. I'd be interested if we IMDb to find out. But yeah, man, I thought it was cool. For the 4 episodes, I thought it was worth watching. You know.
I'm curious. I would like to have you guys go back and watch a couple of the other ones that we mentioned.
What are good ones?
So watch White Christmas.
Watch the top 5 right there.
What's White Christmas?
White Christmas is a self-contained, basically in England, a big thing with any show, hit show, is they do a Christmas special. So for like Sherlock, they'll do it.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's like everybody just gathers and watches.
Right.
Like Christmas. And the whole thing is that it's supposed to be like a movie-length version of the show. So
it stars John Hamm,
John Hamm is in
which
it.
I know
yeah.
will suck you in.
Yeah. He loves a little ham. Loves to ham it up.
Nothing wrong with the Christmas ham, guys.
So after you've seen these, are now when you go back and watch White Christmas, are you like, oh, it's cool because
I didn't go back and watch it.
Yo, he'll like.
I
I think they'll like White
Go
Christmas.
back and watch it because I'm curious to see if your experience is. Oh, the other ones, these more recent ones are actually better.
Here's
'cause
my
it was
thing.
The first time you watched.
I might do it because you asked me to so nicely.
Right.
But like, I don't want to watch the show anymore. I'm good.
He's done.
I know.
He's already lost what 5 days
we
of
come
sleep.
back and we do Star Wars and Bright, we'll have a
it's
little
gonna
recap maybe of this White Christmas episode. I'll check it out as well. Anything else, boys? I think we got to get out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta get
Yeah.
some food.
Get some
Go to
food.
the game.
That's another episode of Westerbros. Make sure you follow these guys on Instagram, Twitter, etc. You can follow me. It's Andrew Schulz, SCHULZ. Make sure you sign up on SoundCloud or on iTunes. Subscribe to the podcast. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheAndrewSchulz. We put the clips up there as well. Shout out to Alex. My man Alex Anderson is doing all the audio and visual for us. That's been absolutely huge. So if you like these videos, you like that stuff, make sure you hit him up. And that yours is Alex A. Anderson, right? With 2 X's? No, Alex Media with 2 episodes. Yeah. So check out Alex. 2 X's, right?
2 episodes, you said.
2 episodes, too. So it's Alex ALEXX Media. You can get him on Instagram and Twitter. All right, so you can make sure you follow him because he
Alex,
always
do people think you're like a porn director?
It's a double X.
double
That's why he
X,
went
bro.
double X, not triple X.
Yeah, triple X.
Anytime I see more than one X,
It's porno.
My mind goes porn.
That's true.
Haney, what's your Instagram?
I got 5 passports.
I got 5 passports.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change my whole life.
Yo, man, you
after this episode, after the story he told today, he's got to change everything.
For 3 months.
I'm gonna change it.
You can't be an Egyptian Muslim with an Instagram that says, I've got 5 passports.
Yo, it's
That's going to
actually-
notify some authorities on that
That's a
shit.
good point.
Okay, Marco, are you back on yet?
No, I have nothing.
He's done.
Ooh,
I'm not
I like
trying to
that you
get
rolled the
Black
R there.
We can get you. Okay, Jack.
At Jack Leary.
At Jack Leary on
Instagram, at Jay Lyrius on Twitter.
at Jay Lyrius on Twitter. Make sure you follow all those. And yeah, man, thank you guys so much for listening. When you message us and you write about shows that you want us to check out, that's the best situation because sometimes we haven't even heard of it. So let us know which ones you like. Let us know which ones you're watching that you think are good, you think would be good for us to review. We really appreciate that. Leave all the comments that you can on our SoundCloud. Like it, support it, spread the fucking word. And I want to go number 1 with this episode. We got to number 5. We got to number 5 with the last one that we did.
5.
I want to go number 1.
Let's go number 1. Hey,
Okay.
we got recognized the other day. Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah. We're out here in
Even though
Mexican
I wasn't there, I had
restaurants.
my stand-in.
I know. Tanner pulled up for you. But
I mean, swap them in.
it is what it is. So make sure this episode you spread the fucking word. Let's get this shit to number 1. All right, let's get it for number 1 on the movie film charts. That'd be so dope. So make sure you spread the word on this episode right here. Thank you guys so much for listening to Westerbros. Peace.